Wake up, gamers, because you're listening to the Big Think Dimension with Dan and Bob Video Games. If you want to feel, you push the button. Please, no. Chris Wolfhard.
Barrel.
And Dr. Aggro.
Splitscreen, more like not that.
Here on GigaBoots.
Oh. Just land the plane.
I don't watch movies in split screen. I only watch them in full screen.
I only watch movies on a 24-inch 3D television while my roommate is watching a different movie, and we both have cool 3D glasses on.
Oh my god. You're in the future.
Amazing.
I feel terrible. I'm not in the future. You know what else might not be real for me? This live cam being set up. We didn't do that.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
How about that?
That's fine. This is an audio podcast. These people can tolerate this screen for a couple minutes here. Bob, we have important things. I got it.
Yeah.
We got important things to talk about, though,
Yeah, of course.
while they stare at this checker pattern. Bob,
What's up?
we watched Terminator Dark Fate.
We did that.
Now, I'm not going to describe you the plot of Terminator Dark Fate. I will cop to the fact I've seen every Terminator film, and you can't even convince me to watch the Sarah Connor Chronicles. That's just not happening. But in this movie, there's a scene where the Terminator that's chasing them to figure out where they go, he kills someone working at a high security data center, hacks into a server, and just sees the plot of the movie in a way that doesn't actually make sense within the scene. Oh,
Is this the bouncer?
They're going here. No, it's actually more ridiculous.
What?
Yeah, it just shows a map, and it's like, oh, they're going here. And it's like, what? Why would that tell you that? That train line doesn't connect to the where. But all I could think of is we need to make a Terminator parody where Agro's the Terminator in it, and he jacks into the internet and is just seeing porn. 2 days past in the movie, it cuts back, he's still there. And finally goes, wait, what was I doing? This is the actual Terminator film we need now in 2022. I'm absolutely sick of these Terminator films that are like, what if we did Terminator again?
Terminator hardcore.
It was really weird. Every marketing bit that came out for that movie, it's like, we got Linda Hamilton, the original Sarah Connor. And I'm like, I don't care. And they didn't tell me anything else about the film, so I didn't watch it until now.
Right?
Weirdly enough, did not. Oh, wait, unless I'm having. No, I'm not having a stroke. Weirdly enough, did not buy that from Redbox.
No.
I just rented that one. I was smart enough to not do that 3 times in a row.
Yeah, I think the only thing that stopped you was that wasn't at Redbox anymore.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We rented it digitally.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the 2 times that I did, Redbox was like, hey, you've already paid $2 to watch this piece of shit. What if you paid 3 more? They did that for Uncharted. So I bought Uncharted. That was stupid.
That was, yeah.
Slightly less stupid, though. They were like, what if you paid 2 more for Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City? And I'm like, okay, sure. I own all the other fucking Resident Evil films. Let's go. Fucking $4 for this Blu-ray.
I hear that's a movie.
It is shocking how much of it is shot on a green screen. It's to the point where when they go to the behind the scenes to be like, hey, this is what's up. This is us filming the movie. You go, wow, any of that was real? Because they have a lamp.
Yeah, it's literally, we made a doorway.
Yeah.
The rest is green screen.
It's shocking.
You know, in
Truly
my
shocking.
day, you would just go to a park with some woods and film your whole movie there.
Well, they needed to do all of the events of Resident Evil 1 and 2 in, what was it, Bob? An hour and 30 minutes?
Something like that.
Yeah, it was an hour.
That's
hour-
value.
I've never seen a movie so psychopathically like overstuffed with things that should have been removed, and also full of like weird padding. Like there was a little bit of padding in a few places that made you go, you really didn't need this. This wasn't necessary. I don't know.
But it was in the wiki.
Yeah, this guy is very devoted to everything except for making Wesker look anything like Wesker.
Or act anything like Wesker.
Or do anything like a Wesker would do.
It's bizarre how slavish it is to recreate certain things, and then they just don't even care about what actors they hire for any role. It's whatever's cheapest, I think.
Yeah, it was real crazy. That movie has like no money. It's delightful in the way that it has no money. Fine, I'll bring it up. So, Itchy Tasty, you know, Resident Evil. They write in the diary because the guy's going slowly zombified and he eats someone. They have a zombie run up to a window and just write it in blood.
I think they do it another 3 times after that too.
It's pretty. It's pretty dire. It's pretty dire that it just does things like that. Anyway, we're gonna jump past what we've been playing, me and Bob. We're going to you, Aggro. Aggro, what you been playing?
Well, I wrapped up that Witness parody game that I was talking about last week. The Looker.
The Looker.
I was like, what was it called? Was it called The Shitness?
It turns out the game's only like an hour and a half long.
That makes perfect
Yeah, that
sense.
I was like 30 minutes
It's
away
free.
from the end there. I got stuck on one puzzle because it cheats.
Oh,
Wow, that's my favorite.
that's always great.
It presents you with an arcade cabinet of the game Snake.
What?
So you've got to draw a pixel line from one letter to the other, and then you've got to keep going as it puts a new pair on the screen over and over. But sometimes, without warning or reason, it'll just put the new letter inside some of the area you've already drawn, and now it's impossible to get to.
Oh, that sucks.
And there's really nothing you can do to avoid that. It just does it.
That's insane.
Yeah, it kind of ruined my entire opinion of that game. Because the thing about when you make a puzzle game and you have to do every puzzle to go forward, when you make a bad one, it shoots your game in the knee.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, other than that completely fixable roadblock, it's an amazing hour and a half of quality video game parody.
Yeah, you would never think they'd do something like that in something so dedicated to being a parody. It's like you think you would know better than do just a broken puzzle.
Yeah.
Unless the Witness has puzzles that are literally broken and there's an extra layer.
I mean, I've heard people
satire.
say that, but they're poo-poo diaper babies who just couldn't figure it out.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't realize we had Pat on the podcast.
The Witness it's
Yeah,
a weird game for me. Like, I will go to bat for it any day, but it's like, well, I didn't like it. Understandable. Have a nice day.
Yeah. I think if you really want to parody the Witness beyond, just puzzles, you need to have the ending be about how the vaccine is fake news.
As I said before, The Looker is free on Steam. The ending is fucking exquisite.
Okay. You have to tell me if it's exactly what Chris just said.
It is not specifically that. No.
Okay.
So we're all in agreement.
Well, yeah, it doesn't say it's fake news. It just asks some questions.
Yeah, it's just asking questions.
Other than that, due to this and that, that's basically all I had time to play. Other than, you ever been playing a game on your phone and it'll show you an ad for another much shittier game, and you're like, I've seen 8 versions of this game this week. Every now and then I'll get in a mood and just download a slate of those.
Ooh. You are definitely telling the App Store some things you shouldn't be.
Like, there's the ones where you're running forward on a track and you got to go through the plus gates or the minus gates, and you got to hit all the plus gates to get the high score. I've been playing one of those, watching a lot of ads for other games like that.
I'm gonna be honest. I got a streak of doing that once. It didn't go great.
Nah.
I was like, this is literally nothing like the ad.
No, I'm playing the ones that are exactly like the ad.
Okay.
You hit a stratum where they're like, we don't have to lie to him anymore. He knows what he's here for.
If they downloaded it, they already gave up. They're not gonna all of a sudden.
Did you play any of those fix the old house for the woman who was kicked out by her husband? Otherwise she will freeze to death.
I did. I finally clicked on one of those.
Cool.
Yeah, it's
Did she freeze to death?
No, you and like the dude character goes up to a mansion he bought so he could program video games, and some chick was already there, and like now you have to figure out who really owns the house. And nobody, like the cops don't give a shit. She calls the cops like, there's some weird guy in this house my aunt left me. And the cops like, ha ha, you kids, and leaves. And I'm like, this is
Yeah.
shit written by rich white people who've never had problems.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Know your audience, be your audience.
It was weird.
So
Mobile
that-
games.
So that's
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's, hey, Bob, can I get you to move back? You're not on the same focal plane as us. See, we're doing this diagonal backwards thing. Anyway.
Can I back up too?
No, I'll kill you. If you're not perfectly in focus, you don't get to live.
I see.
I'm very serious about pulling focus here on our live stream podcast. But Bob and I
The
played Gears
ghost
5.
dog says that if I can't do it, I'll be punished.
Yeah, I got the button. 1 second. I'll just fucking hit it and save aggro some talking.
The ghost dog that tells me how to organize my workflow says that I need new equipment.
I like Bob busting into laughter right at the end there. That's really good. Anyways, we're just going to go ahead and do it. There's no point in even talking about it without doing it. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're heading into spoiler mode.
Wow.
Gears 5.
I also played all of Gears 5. In fact, I scraped the game even more than Dan and Bob did.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were going to put up a poll of who to kill.
No.
Oh, it worked out really well that you guys picked the opposite choice in that dog shit BioWare decision that ruined the franchise forever.
Yeah, to summarize real quick, the entire Gears franchise has been built on one writing trick. If you want your player to feel, kill a main character. Whatever you do, as quickly as you can, kill an important main character, and that will make them feel. Gears 5 is the first game in the franchise to innovate on this. They hand you the button, go, kill one of these two. And it's either the son of Marcus Phoenix, JD, who in this game took a turn to be a fascist for a bit there.
Sort of? It's so fucking poorly done.
It is.
Wait. I've heard a little bit about this Gears.
Uh-huh.
How does Marcus Phoenix have a son?
Yeah.
You would require a woman to live at least
she
9
lives
consecutive
long
months.
enough to reproduce, aggro, then she dies between games.
Yes, unceremoniously, the next game that comes out, she is already dead.
Also,
But luckily she
between
became
games.
luckily she became president in the 25 years between the two games. So she was the first president after the war was over and did a bunch of things and had a kid and then died at some point between Gears 3 and Gears 4.
there's a whole scene in Gears 5 aggro that builds on another layer of this, on top of this, where they explain they have a fertility problem and they have super scientists to solve like that problem. And Bob and I playing through this are like, the women are infertile, not the guys who are on steroids. They're perfectly fine.
Yeah,
no,
it's not their problem.
These great value ultramarines, they're fine.
I did something that was ill-advised. I looked through the Gears of War wiki
Oh,
to get some
Hell yes.
additional insight on setting details.
Who ended the war with an assassination?
My what I gathered was any woman in a military role in any of the first 3 games during the Locust War was infertile because fertile women were not allowed to participate in the military in any capacity.
That's hauntingly,
Because
yeah.
because the COG during the Locust War, the COG was straight up running forced breeding camps, which of course makes no sense. You know you want a bunch of children around when you're in a war.
Well, yeah, you need them for stuff.
And then when the war was over, it no longer became compulsory, but so many people had died because of the 8 apocalypses in a row.
Right. The global warming and locusts and lambents.
that so they needed to like fix the fertility problem with all the women who were still alive. because for some reason women have like a life expectancy of 35 in the Gears universe.
Wait.
It's because they have a writer problem. There are too many writers, so all the women keep dying.
Does that mean that the women in the war were more likely to survive than civilians? Like the women in the military.
We keep sinking our fucking cities in Gears of War, so...
And using the Hammer of Dawn, but, you know.
What a moronic universe. Like I said some other time, this is basically 3 Sliders episodes ham-fistedly written together.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yes.
They were put in a juicero.
But going back to the choose which person lives or dies, the son of Marcus Phoenix or the comedy constantly scared black nerd character.
He got better in Gears 5. It is worth noting Dell was way less annoying in Gears 5.
That's true. Everybody is somewhat less annoying in Gears 5.
Yeah, they even write this weird turn for JD, but everyone is better.
Except they don't write it. They tell us it happened. We don't actually get to see it.
Right.
Like the
Look, it's just like Gundam Double Zeta. They had the characters come out and tell you a thing happened with the character and what the new character is, and then you just have to sign on for that or get out.
Here's the sum of JD's fascist arc. He makes a big mistake and gets a bunch of people killed. 4 months later, he's being emotionally distant, which I guess when you get dozens of people killed 4 months ago, you're supposed to bounce back real quick.
Yeah.
And then his big fascist moment is wanting to swiftly evacuate civilians from a combat area.
But there's also them being like, he's been a huge simp for the head of the COG.
He's hanging out with the guy who's clearly red-pilled.
Oh, that guy is so red-pilled?
Yes.
The beginning of this game is like, this dude, I fucking hate him. He shot a civilian who's protesting. And he's like, they were throwing fucking firebombs, whatever, I'm gonna shoot him. And then 10 minutes later, they're like, by the way, JD gave me the order. And the moment JD's outed as giving the order, they're like, oh no, now JD's gonna sacrifice himself to redeem himself. And then they wrote a label on the screen that says he has made a turn now. He is fascist.
They spend a lot of time being like, oh no, Foz actually isn't so bad. So they make the red pill guy like come be your bro.
Yeah.
And honestly, Foz is a much more entertaining and well-realized character than any of the other 3 characters of modern Gears.
Well, that's because he serves a function in the Gears universe of like, he's supposed to be some level of parody, some sort of parallel to people who get into war and just lose their humanity, right? People who find killing too easy. People who just follow orders and aren't going to let anything drag them down. Meanwhile, JD, Kate, and Dell suck and have no narrative purpose in the Gears universe other than combat kits. So
as I keep trying to, the point I keep trying to get to. In 2000, I think 8, this game called Mass Effect came out.
Oh no.
And near the end of Mass Effect, they make you decide what character lives and what dies. Who dies? And you can't save both. One dies for sure. And BioWare really quickly learned that was a terrible idea because now the other character also can't be around because you can't voice act and write a bunch of stuff based on the choice that the player made. So it's a really fucking unfortunate that the Coalition made this mistake that BioWare figured out was a bad move 12 years ago.
Yeah,
14 years ago.
I was gonna say that's a pretty big lead time on being able to observe other people following in the same path.
I mean, it was 7th gen though, so nobody was learning from each other. It did not happen.
And if there's one thing I can trust Microsoft to not do is learn from the past.
It's funny how Infamous overcame this.
Yeah.
Gears 4 and 5 have some enemies that seem like they were plucked right out of Mass Effect 3 to the point I almost don't think that there's any way but they saw them.
Cool. What were you saying about Infamous, Bob?
Infamous found their solution to this of just the next game comes out, they look at the trophies for who got what first, and like, okay, that one won. We're going with that way with the story.
That seems like it has to be what they will do if they make Gear 6.
Yeah, because there's no way you can like have a game like this where it's like a big budget bombastic thing and have a character with one of your main characters just vanish. Like you could just write them out.
If you picked Dell to survive, he's now just in the tech lab sad the whole game, and he has like 4 scenes.
You could, but it'd be terrible. Like that doesn't feel good for anyone. Like there's a certain expectation an audience has from a big budget shooter and from a game that's serious like Mass Effect, where it's trying to lean on being an RPG.
Well, Gears 5 is really obviously trying to lean in more onto being an RPG because they added that fucking open world and skill trees and shit. Which, by the way, you guys missed the 2 funniest upgrades.
Okay.
Did you get? Well, actually, I didn't see the end. Did you get the final, like the super stealth upgrade?
I don't think so. No.
The super stealth upgrade makes it so you you don't come out of stealth when you kill a guy. So you get that, and you get the power up. You get the normal upgrade that makes the stealth time extend with every kill. So what I would do through the entire back end of that game after I got that upgrade, I would start every encounter where it was off cooldown by going into stealth. Aggro, when you go into stealth in Gears 5, the enemy's AI basically turns off. It's not like where'd they go? Like the enemies are no longer alert. They think immediately
the war
put
is
their
over.
Yeah.
Why do you have stealth in a Gears game?
I can explain that.
Actually, that has been since the first game, Aggro. You had a robot buddy that had a cloak. And in Gears 5, they're just like, we upgraded the cloak, so now it can affect you guys too.
Well, you know, as we're playing, Bob points out, we have these moves, these skills, okay? Kate, at one point in this game, gains the power to control the locust, okay? Now, through this game, you get a set of skills. 2 of them seem like kind of locust-y powers, and then 2 of them are blatantly Jack powers, but they say Jack does all of them. Jack tases a locust until he can mind control them. Jack is a floating robot, of course.
Of course.
So halfway through this game, when Kate gets in the brain damage machine, which is literally what it does, and they go, so it's going to give me brain damage? And then he goes, yeah, basically. She loses her locust controlling powers, her unintentional ones, but you get to maintain that ability. You right after that point in the game, you get that ability from Jack to deliberately control enemies. Very bizarre thing.
Yeah, the stealth, like the fact that the enemies just turn off during stealth very much implies that was supposed to be like, no, Kate uses like the mind control.
Right.
But what I did, since I could kill guys without them opening, without going out of stealth, and my stealth was extended every single time, what I would do is just like, I have the Boltok pistol. I walk right up to their face, put the Boltok pistol in their mouth, and pull the trigger. Yeah. And I do that to as many guys as it'll let me do. And that kind of cleared half the encounters in the back end of that game for me.
Okay, what I was going to say is killing them while in stealth mode doesn't unstealth you.
No.
But with the gun, yeah, it does.
Yeah. It's like you can use your gun in stealth and not come out.
Man, that is nuts. That is absolutely nuts.
There's just no excuse.
The flash upgrade freezes enemies like you used the cryo gun on them. It hard freezes them.
Okay, all right.
And I watched a video because I didn't even think to do it when I fought that horrible boss that you guys fought in the ice cave.
Yeah.
It freezes that thing, so you basically have twice as many options to freeze it if you get that upgrade.
Oh, that's infuriating.
Yeah.
That thing was the hardest battle in the game and just kind of sucked. It may have been better if we weren't co-oping it, because then he would probably just run at the played character and not the sidekick. Because the whole thing is you're trying to steer him to run into icy water so he freezes instantly, and then you can run to his back and shoot his back. I only have 2 other things I want to say about this game. 70% of the content of Gears 5 is the worst 2 open worlds I've ever played in a video game.
Yeah, it really comes off like they played God of War 2018. Or like, we need areas like this in our game.
Yes, it literally does, in a way that's kind of scary, because that game only came out a year and a half before theirs.
Mm-hmm.
There are no enemies on the open map. It's just a bunch of walking until you get to the mission zones. The mission zones are really, really low rent Gears style content.
It's one short battle. Yeah, every single one.
It's like a fifth of a normal Gears level.
Yeah, you walk to the end of the encounter and then walk back.
Yeah, every time. Sometimes there's a fun slide and you go, wee, and then it takes you to the entrance. But this is like 70 to 75% of the content of this game. Gears 5 is a terrible game. The second thing I wanted to say. So early on the game, while it's still doing scripted, normal, what I call sober Gears content, almost an irony in and of itself, it makes a point of Del has an attachment to this mech.
Mm-hmm.
This mech, I've already forgotten the name of it, and you'll know why in a
Jack
second.
Jr.
Like an emotional attachment?
Is it?
or-
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's literally Jack Jr.
Is it really? I could have
'cause-
sort of had a different name.
It had a different name in the beginning. That's the one that got destroyed. And then Barrett is like,
No,
well,
it
since you
doesn't-
fucked up that one.
It doesn't
no,
get
he goes-
destroyed. He saves it.
No, but it's too fucked up. And that's why Barrett is like, well, you can take this one, and snaps his fingers and the new Jack uncloaks.
But there's a narrative beat where this mech is still in the room where a rocket is taking off. And they're like, we need to close this fucking door. The flames are going to scorch the rest of us, and we're humans. And somebody, Marcus, maybe JD, says, close the fucking door. It's just a robot. And Del goes, that's not his fault, man. It gets really upset. And I was like, that's great. This game is about building an emotional relationship with that. And then they immediately go, here's Jack. You know Jack from Gears of War 1 through 3. You care about Jack already. And I'm like, that's kind of counter to the whole point of the thing. And then the ending of the game is Jack tragically sacrifices himself against the final boss, so that way we can win the day.
Aggro, I have a fun quiz for you.
No, you don't.
Gears of War 1, 2, 3, 4, and Judgment all have 5 acts. How many acts does Gears of War 5 have?
Judgment. 6.
Wrong direction.
Did they rate it into 3?
No, it's 4 because it really feels like we're out. We're out of time. We're out
Yeah.
of everything. Just
It is-
ship us to the ending.
It is nuts how abruptly it finishes.
Yeah, Act 4 is so tiny.
It's an absolutely tiny act where they have to have everything happen abruptly in the city so they can wrap it up.
It's weird that they didn't even try to make it 5x. Like, you could have cheated and had the section where you're setting off the rocket and have to fight the big stupid fucking tentacles. They could have just called that Act 4.
Yeah.
It's like only like 30 minutes long, but they didn't even care enough to cheat.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. Very bizarre. So, Gears 5 is absolutely terrible in fascinating and new ways, which is what I expected from Gears 4 and 5. So, mission accomplished.
I like parts of Gears 5.
Yeah.
I thought that new grenade launcher weapon that actually creates an airstrike when you shoot somebody with it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Playing in single player probably made the experience a lot smoother because that's transparently how they want you to play it. And they very obviously had to butcher parts of it for co-op.
Yeah, it's really obvious, too, because you have a thing called a skiff you're riding around, right? And it has 2 positions. One of them drives, the other one sits in it, and is in a thing that looks like it should be a turret. But since there are no enemies on the open world, you can't shoot. You just look around.
Well, yeah, you're the lookout.
And you have these powers that are on a cooldown, but either player can activate them, but they don't have separate cooldowns.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Now we're talking.
And apparently, well, I mean, ideally they would have separate cooldowns instead of one person being able to use it and the other person being like, I didn't get to use the power.
Nah, it's teamwork.
I literally just didn't use powers the whole game. Was like, I don't know. Dan's probably used it.
Or if you or if you really fuck up and want somebody to play as Jack, the robot, only they can use the powers.
Going back to like Mech Warrior on the Sega Genesis, where one person steers the robot and the other person shoots.
Oh my god. Jesus
or Battletoads 2020.
No, don't go back there ever. But yeah, so that's Gears 5.
There's only one other thing I want to say about this game.
Yeah, go ahead.
The entirety of the plot is reactivating the Hammer of Dawn, the weapon that we've had all throughout the other Gears games and has not been able to accomplish anything.
Yeah.
But they act like it is the be-all, end-all. It will end this war.
And we've seen 5 Gears games where it basically didn't do dick. It was like, oh, it's kind of good if you keep it on this one enemy that's huge for a really long time.
Then you get it activated after, 8 hours? It stays up for 20 minutes, and then it fails again.
Yeah. Immediately.
There's so much insane shit in Gears 5. Like, there's that, which at least makes the sense from the fact that these new locusts are above ground. They don't live underground anymore. But then there's
there's still a lot of them underground, though.
It's like these. Well, the locusts aren't like some weird primordial race that have always been there. They were created with evil human science like 50 years ago. And I'm like, they have an endless underground empire with a gigantic like doomed hell castle.
Yeah.
Did they build that in 15 minutes?
Yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're not going to tell me you're going to engineer a subterranean race of insect monsters and not program them to build a sick ass hell castle.
Yeah, it just sucks. It sucks in every way.
Suck, man.
Yeah.
That original concept for the locust, I'm like, oh, that's a really cool sci-fi thing. Let's see what the god damn it. Of course they fucked it up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the thing I thought of in my head, which was apparently always fake, they came to this planet like 50 years ago, and then they found out later that they had creatures living underground.
It's so lame because, once again, the wiki dive. It's like all the big monsters that the locusts used, none of those were created by super science. They just lived in the core of the earth.
Wait, what?
Yeah, like the Brumac and the flying thing that was an enemy in Gears.
What?
3. None of those were created by science. Those were just there.
Okay, wait, no, this is very
the
important.
locusts were created by combining DNA from those things with humans.
Oh,
yeah, they specifically said
why?
they used minor orphans in order to fuse the human DNA with that to make new creatures.
Why?
They were trying to find a cure for this condition.
Of course they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for watching the sci-fi original movie.
They're trying to find a cure for black lung so they can
there's like a sci-fi version of black lung.
Yeah, they're trying to cure radioactivity black lung so that way they can be better at harvesting the gasoline stand-in for this universe.
Yeah, it is playing through the game. I thought they were saying they were fusing human DNA with the lambent goo they found down there.
No, they said creatures in the hollow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every time I learn something new about Gears of War,
Uh-huh.
because you remember what 7th Gen was like.
Yeah, I do.
And I remember having a PS3 and slowly realizing, oh shit, everything runs better on the 360. And
Yes.
you know, they've got a bunch of cool games over there I don't have, but you know, we've got some exclusives. And every time I learn something new about Gears of War, I really, really appreciate Resistance more.
I want to go back in time and tell me back in like, I don't know, 2008, 2009, like, hey, it's fine. Gears 2 is great, but you're good.
Yeah, Gears 2 is great. There's kind of, as we all learned, there's a reason that people really don't talk about this franchise nowadays outside the context of Gears 2. And the worst part is they can't make any of these games have an ending. Gears 5 does not have an ending. It just ends with you ward off the attack, and then they're like, we're going to go get the new queen.
I said the craziest shit in the world, and I told Bob I wouldn't say this on content, but I'm doing it now. Gears, the new trilogy, because they set up a bunch of things of here's what Gears is about now with Gears 4, of Kate's clearly the descendant of the Locust Queen and all this stuff. We're going to look into this. Gears deserved The Last Jedi, where Gears 5 is just some asshole coming in and throwing away every plot line. Just being like, this is what it's about now. Your franchise sucks.
I don't know what they're going to do, because we're already at the length of time that they normally ship a Gears game. Like, Judgment was 13, 4 was 16, 5 was 19.
Yeah, they're making their Infinite.
Yeah, we're already there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if they're going to finish this story, and honestly, I don't think they should. I think they should just...
I'm at the point where I do not think they should make any more Gears games. I'm usually not that type of person, but after having gone through every single Gears game, I'm like, we're done. Microsoft will not give you enough creative control to innovate enough to make this interesting. Just put it down, walk away, and do anything else.
You can do a reboot 5 years from now.
Sure. Anyway,
But it's like I don't care about like why there's no emotional I can't see how anybody could be emotionally invested in the plot of Gears. At least you could be emotionally invested in the plot of Mass Effect. It has characters.
yeah, yeah. That's how it like. And I see people who are like, they need to stop making Halo games. They should just stop making it entirely. And I'm like, no, they should start making good Halo games. Like Halo is a universe I care about that has a bunch of characters and a lot of lore that's interesting. Created by Bungie. God. Gears didn't have that moment. Epic didn't do that for Gears. Gears universe is not that interesting. Gears characters are two-dimensional.
Yeah, at this point, it's like just make some other third-person shooters. It's cover shooting.
It's insane
Make
that
Kill Switch 2!
that Gears up until 4 had like the most nothing two-dimensional dude bro characters.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't do anything but look back on them after 4 and 5 and be like, that was so much better. Instead, you just gave us the exact same Zoomer Brigade that's everything now. The new Saints Row is that. Assassin's Creed became that. That new Tomb Raider sounds like it's going to be this, with Lara Croft having a younger team.
I hope you're wrong. I hope you're dead fucking wrong on this one, Chris.
It's like it's like the alt girl with a highlight, generic white dude, scared black comedy nerd has become like the triumvirate of evil.
Yes.
Where it's like when you don't know what the fuck to write, you bring out these archetypes.
They work together so well.
They're like horsemen of the writing your franchise into the ground apocalypse.
I would kill to have the Gears game where you're playing as grizzled, old as dirt Marcus Phoenix, and like every 30 minutes, Foz says something stupid, and Marcus tells him to shut the fuck up, like happened in that one scene.
That was the highlight of that game. He's like, Foz, right? And then Foz is like, yeah, that's my name. And he goes, shut the fuck up, Foz. I was like, okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna need that on the soundboard.
Old man Logan Marcus Phoenix. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So I picked the different choice for who lives and who dies than you guys did.
Okay. How did that go?
Is there an equivalent to the scene? Because with me, because I chose JD to live, so Dell dies.
Mm-hmm.
Foz drives a truck through a wall and is like, "Ha! I saved your ass this time, Dell. Where's Dell?"
No.
Yeah, no, that happens. That happens in these, and they have that back and forth.
that
and we realize
moment.
he
Yes.
does save Dell.
Yes, that does happen before the absolute end. Yeah.
Okay, I was like, because multiple people were like, "No, if you pick Dell to live, he just vanishes from the story." When JD gets like a couple scenes.
You get the feeling when you save Dell that there's just a moment of, I don't know. The choice doesn't feel like immediately impactful on every cutscene because, of course, they just need to have the select one that'll play at certain moments. So yeah. Anyways, they shouldn't make a Gear 6. I'm ready to take us out of this segment.
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Sure.
Okay, here we go. Whoa, the spoiler tag's disappearing.
Maybe the next leap will be the leap that takes us home.
Bob,
What's up?
did you play anything? Well, actually, you know what? I played one more thing.
Yeah.
I'll talk about the one more thing. I played Katamari Rerolled. I'm convinced those sticks are not set up right sensitivity-wise because I'll just push forward and the prince is like, I gotta go! And I'm like, whoa, dude, calm down, just a little.
Did you also get stuck on something and shed all your stuff? Because that
Yes.
happened to me a couple times playing Reroll, and I don't think that happened in the original.
It could happen in the original in very delicate circumstances. It happened twice in this super easily. This thing, for people who don't know, this isn't like a port or emulation of the original Katamari. It is, we remade that in Unity.
Mm-hmm.
So they added bad ambient occlusion and a bunch of things like this where I'm like, I feel like this is wrong. Like, this is just not right. Unfortunately, I haven't had enough time to finish that because we are working on our Gears of War ranking video, which is very exciting. That thing's coming together way better than I would expect and way better than the franchise deserves. But please be excited for that. I think it's going to go up early for GigaBoots Prime patrons. But aside from that, that's all I played other than Vanquish. Hey, Bob.
Hey, what's up?
Vanquish is better than any Gears game.
Yeah, of course.
It's
Like easily.
It's not even close. And that ending is beautiful.
It is.
Aggro, do you know about the ending of
I
Vanquish?
feel like I did at one point.
Oh, we're putting up the spoiler tag because I just need to say it. The Hillary Clinton surrogate
Who is just Hillary Clinton.
She
I remember
is.
that.
who works with the Russians to instigate a war to juice up the economy, says, I'm resigning from being president, and blows her brains out. And it is graphic. It's the funniest shit in the world.
Yeah.
That's...
On the subject of games that are better than Gears, Mass Effect 3 is better
Ooh.
than most Gears games, because at least in Mass Effect 3 you get to be a Super Saiyan, and if you pick Vanguard, at least you get to fly across the map and shoulder check someone, and then throw a big Saiyan ball and blow them up, and you can do that forever. Just keep flying across the map, shoulder checking people.
What?
Oh yeah, because there's these things in Mass Effect. There's these people called biotics,
Uh-huh, yeah.
and
they're very
they
pro.
basically they had element 0, like the magic fuel source, like injected into them. So now they have psychic powers.
Right.
And one of the classes is you're a psionic who is very direct. You use shotguns, and your abilities are pick an enemy and fly through objects at them as fast as you can and hit them really hard. And you also get like shove, and you get, if you do some of the side quests, you get what is literally like the Big Bang attack.
Cool.
And you so you just fly across the map through terrain and cover and delete an enemy. Then you shotgun both his friends and throw the spirit bomb at the guy a little bit further away.
That's awesome. I'm just going to say a few words for Vanquish, and then I'm good.
Okay.
Vanquish, amazing third-person cover shooter, the peak of the absolute genre. Nothing is remotely close. Sorry, binary domain heads. You're just wrong. There's no chance. I will play that game someday, I'm certain.
I mean, we have to for that month.
Right? Because 7th Gen Wonderland won the second theme month, so we're playing it. We will know. We will see. That game's incredible. Every third-person shooter should have insane mechanics where it's like, keep picking up the same gun and you will level up that gun forever. Like you get 10 whole levels out of it. They upgrade the ammo capacity, reload stuff, and all these things. That is an important part of Resident Evil 4 or 5 experience that's missing in Gears. That is there in Vanquish. The idea of guns can improve. We can make your shit better. Stuff can get cooler. You can make an effort on how you play the game.
What if we got you
yourself...
a bunch of random powers assigned to a robot? That's the same thing, right?
What's the robot called?
Jack.
I would love to jack off.
How does Jack compare to the owl in Killzone Shadowfall? No.
You know how the owl's responsive at all? Jack is like, okay, I want him to do this thing. I hit the button. Okay, he's working on it.
Yeah,
That's Jack got buttons.
Jack,
and he's less responsive.
Let me check this out. We had to find Jack holes to tell Jack to go into. It sucked. We skipped over that because it was an innovation I just didn't even want to
Did you
talk
have
about.
like Jack levels where he had to like mind control little other robots to solve puzzles, or
No, weirdly enough, we didn't.
that moment where you were thinking was horrifying for me?
It seemed like it could have been in there. But yeah, Vanquish, amazing. I'm done talking about it. Bob,
What's up?
you want to say any words for Vanquish before we move on?
Dodging and then going slow-mo and killing guys is cool.
Oh yeah, it's incredible. What a great feeling game. I like that if you exhaust your energy gauge, your stamina gauge, you just start doing like, normally you do a really fast dodge roll, but if you do that and your generator needs to refresh, you start doing an almost Demon Souls fatty roll. It's really funny and
Nice.
really good.
Oh, that's so good in a rocket slide cover shooter.
Right.
That's beautiful.
You just start. But that's it for me. Anything else, Bob?
And we also played Pokemon. Gen 5. It was
Let
last
me
week.
tell you about the legacy of Pokemondays. The legacy of Pokemondays, and it hit its absolute fever pitch with 5th gen is, well, we're just going to try the Elite Four. Obviously, we won't win. That ending of 5th gen could give someone an ulcer. It is so high stress as we're going up against shit we're more than 9 levels beneath. And we're just barely picking the right moves at the right time and chugging hyper potions and doing all this shit. And it's just every moment it's like, we're not going to make it. We're not going to make it.
That was my experience even back in the day.
Yeah, see,
Where it was like by the end when you're fucking going up against
Getsus. Yeah.
I'm like, it's a good thing I have this legendary to sweep some of his guys.
Yes, luckily we too had a legendary Verizon wireless. I could have spent a couple hours on our copy going and getting Verizon, but instead I had a spare Verizon on my older copy, so I just traded that over to save 2 or 3 hours of work off stream or on. Luckily, just barely fucking worked out with this because weirdly enough, Verizon was not over leveled. It was not like a Palkia. His stats are not like a Palkia or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Any words to say regarding Thunderous? No.
God, he sucks.
He sucks, and he has justified all of my ire for him. What a piece of crap.
Let me tell you the truth. I have this weird thing where I can't split 5th and 6th gen in my head anymore.
So 5th gen is the 2D one on the DS at the end, black and white. 6th gen is France, where it's 3D. And as everyone on planet Earth has made sure I knew was coming, Fat Kid likes to dance.
Right, yeah.
And they remake Viridian Forest.
That honestly is the worst thing in that game.
Oh, yeah.
That's still upsetting to me.
I forgot they did that.
I had to sit there while my brother's like playing his first Pokemon game since 1st gen. And he's just like, you motherfuckers have seriously been doing this shit for 20 years? And I'm like, I swear to you, it's not this every fucking time. This game is pandering to you and it's ruining it.
X and Y is also like, here's a free Charizard, aren't they? They also do that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're like, here's your Gen 1 starter, choose. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
No, I think it was just Charizard because I don't think Blastoise and Venusaur had Mega Evolutions until later.
But yeah, that I'm looking forward to 6th gen. If for no other reason than I can use an Xbox controller wirelessly with the 3DS with a network IP hack. It's pretty cool.
Neat.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you no longer have to delicately hold it or else everything breaks.
Yeah,
It got really bad towards the end of 5th gen.
Yeah, since Dan's like on zero sleep, passing out, he literally dropped the system.
Yeah, that did happen. That actually happened once. It ejected the cart and we had to redo a run. But that was after we beat the game, luckily.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I'm completely devastated on that day. We're finishing 5th gen. Like under 2.5 hours of sleep. I've been up for a while. And I'm just struggling. I literally cover myself on screen with a drawing. Because I'm like, I look like shit. And it's just beautiful. This is a beautiful stream. That ending, that struggle.
Yeah, it's our attempt that wasn't supposed to be the winning run.
No.
Gets turned into the winning run.
No, we literally head in going, we're going to grind. And then we just luck through the Elite Four. And I'm like, well, let's see how far this goes. And I'm like, oh, we just barely did it.
It's always the best.
And then Getsus shows up. And I'm like, oh, fuck. We're fucked, you guys. We're completely and utterly fucked.
It's so nice playing a Pokemon that's like a good, hard RPG.
Yeah. Like, it's a legitimate challenge.
Right.
Almost every gen up until then, we finish the gen and me and Bob look at each other and go, it seems like that should have been that easy. That felt a little bit easier than it should have been. I think the only other one that came close was Soul Silver, where we literally won with the War of Attrition.
Yes.
On the Pokemon whose name we were supposed to change to Attrition. But yeah. I love 5th gen. That replay for Pokemon Days completely 110% justified that love that I've expressed over the last, how many years has it been since they made the best Pokemon game? 10? What an amazing experience. I would gladly do it again. And hopefully after Scarlet and Violet come out, because we're skipping it for now, we can get back to doing Black and White version 2, because Bob's never done that. And they spruce it up.
Yeah, I don't actually know what those are.
So Black and White version 2 actually has a completely new story. It's a direct sequel to Black and White.
Oh.
You get, like, they throw all the other dexes in there, basically. Like, you just get Pokemon from all these different generations and the 150 for Unova. You start in a completely different part that's completely new, and then it roots back in. So you're just getting to learn about all these characters who, you know, what happened to them in the years since.
Wow. I wish I had understood that at the time.
No, right?
Yeah, because they've never done that before. Everything else has just been, it's the third version.
Right? I'm like, oh, it's the
Right.
third version. I never get those. Whatever.
Right.
Yeah. No, this was a great one. It also has even more amazing music, which 5th Gen already has a really great soundtrack, like peak Pokemon soundtrack. But then this has its Colress theme, and Colress's theme is like the best song in Pokemon. And also the Champions theme in Black and White version 2 is some Sailor Fuku shit. It is the best. But yeah, anyway, that's it for 5th Gen. I hope everyone's looking forward to Pokemon Mondays, the ride down. At a certain point, we will just unlock asking for a drawing from any gen, because they are going to add fewer and fewer Pokemon going forward.
At least Sun and Moon will have a good story, and that'll be all fun.
I'm going to have fun playing through them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am.
Sun and Moon were good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sun and Moon were so good. That's part of why I like stare in disappointment at Sword and Shield. It's like all you had to do was make a game as good as Sun and Moon again.
I thought it was
Right.
fucking weird that they didn't do a second version of Sun and Moon that was just on the Switch.
Yeah.
I thought that was
Yeah.
such a surefire thing,
That
and then
was
they went
that
Ultra.
was a serious missed opportunity.
Yeah, I feel like there were even fake leaks about it. Like, yeah, obviously
There were
people would want
Pokemon
that.
Star, and people were like, "Look, if you just put the menus on top of each other on one screen, it looks like it was designed for that."
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's so frustrating because it felt like an up ramp until then, until we got 8th Gen. It was like, what'd you do?
Well, and Ultras. You got to keep in mind, a lot of people were super disappointed by Ultra Sun.
They
Yeah,
were disappointed in the
the-
story. Yeah.
Yeah, Ultra Sun and Moon is just like, what if we made the same game again, but made the story worse?
Yeah, because like most of the time when they do a third version, it's a much more
Yeah.
meaningful upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it. I'm done talking. Bob.
Oh, yeah. I played a few things.
Yeah.
I got to play a couple rounds of the Splatoon 3 Splatfest.
Fuck you. Sorry.
And
I
it-
was asleep perfectly during the entire time it was up.
Like, I only got to play it because I didn't sleep well.
Okay, I'm fine with it now.
Anyone else play it?
Nah.
Okay.
Crickets.
They have gotten rid of the gender choice, and now it's literally just body type choice.
Okay.
And that also means it frees up hairstyles beyond any body type.
Oh, thank God.
Thank God. Yeah.
Thank God. Fucking
yeah,
shit.
Good.
The boys were
Awesome.
stuck
Yeah,
with the
we're
worst
going in that
hairstyles.
direct. We're going that direction in basically every game now.
Good.
I'm always astonished when Nintendo is on top of that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like,
Nintendo honestly seems like they got on board first.
it's
I feel
not
like
even
there was
about.
one,
It's not
I
even
feel like there
about
was
that.
one of
Go ahead,
ahead.
Bob.
Okay. It's not even about them not getting on this exact trend fast. It's about them not covering any trend fast. Like, there's something else in this game I'm going to talk about.
Oh, okay. I appreciate all the things where they're like, we finally integrated things that were in Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, where it's like you can have a nameplate.
Yeah.
I'm like, fucking shit.
And it still has, you only get 2 maps per hour.
Yeah, that's the je ne sais quoi of a Splatoon.
Yeah.
You have to have that.
Uh-huh, sure.
Bob, on camera, I have to pretend that I can see you, even though I'm just staring at aggro.
Right.
Because in the video layout, it looks correct.
Of course. They don't know.
No, move back forward. I'll just look at you and pretend you're Bob.
Never look away.
And I am looking directly at Dan, definitely not Aggro's back.
You've got my back, Bob.
I'm so excited for Splatoon 3. Bob, tell me more.
They also, the motion controls feel better. I've heard that apparently they reduced the amount of motion smoothing, so it feels like there's less input lag on it in general.
Yeah, if I was gonna say, like, you know how you fix the motion controls for Splatoon 2, you reduce the fucking input lag they introduced over Splatoon 1. So I bet
Yes.
that is just it.
Right. But yeah, it's probably a mix of both, because it does there was definitely a huge amount of lag you could feel into.
Yes. No, it's
Um,
measured. It is like someone's quantified that. It's like 20 or 30 milliseconds, which is, if I can notice 8, then
They still make the, I think, completely boneheaded decision of, if you have motion control on, you cannot aim up or down with the analog stick. So you can't just use it to refine your aim. You literally have to use it instead.
yeah, that's really
No,
weird.
that sucks.
I
It's
never
like-
understood that.
They're the only people doing it.
Uh-huh.
We now have several other games that have motion control on console. Like I think Fortnite does it.
I mean, even
Doom
from-
Eternal does it.
Even from Nintendo, like Breath of the
Breath
Wild.
of the Wild did
Yeah.
it before Splatoon 1. Oh, wait, no. That was before Splatoon 2.
All they had to do was get in a time machine.
So it's really frustrating to be like, yep, you still are doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess people have tested the online
The tick rate.
the tick rate.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same as
Of
2.
course it is. I didn't expect them to ever fix that. It
It was better in 1, apparently.
What?
Yeah, apparently 1 has a better tick rate than 2.
Mhm.
For anyone who doesn't know, because we need to make sure everyone's informed, tick rate is how many times the game state is updated. The importance of this is keeping everyone's state on the same page and having responsive deaths and things occur. You know that moment where you go, ha, I got them, and then it seems retconned and no, you didn't, and you're dead? That is because the tick rate is way too low. A lot of games, the tick rate's like 30. Splatoon, I think it's 12 times a second or something.
Yeah,
It's-
they're about.
it is not high.
Yeah,
it is very much not high.
Yeah, I think Splatoon 1's big, better tick rate than 2 is it's 15 instead of 12.
Right.
It's like,
Like,
Man, I'm gonna pick that new sword and do Dark Souls backstab where I teleport through 5 things
yeah,
to backstab them.
that's really unfortunate. Maybe with the next console, with the next Splatoon, they'll finally figure it out.
maybe. Other than that, I don't have much to say. It's very much. This is Splatoon with a couple new weapons.
But it also just looks way cooler. Like, it's got a lot of stuff in it this time that wasn't there last time when it comes to, like, accessories, shops, things like that.
Yeah,
like,
I
I'm
don't
really
get
excited.
I don't get to mess with that in this at all. Like,
Also,
they-
there are
they-
50% more teams. Fact.
Yes, you
There
have
were
3
2.
choices.
There are now 3. Were you on the winning team?
Yes, I actually was.
Fuck you.
I see.
Tosh sobbed before she drank heavily. It's your goddamn fault. Can't believe Bob betrayed Tosh like this.
Don't
Next
worry,
Pokemon Days is going to be tense.
I mostly lost. Because I was trying all the new weapons. And I was like, okay, I'm not good at this game.
Bob's like, it's okay. I went out and did my worst. I tried to get Tosh to win too.
I keep waiting for the memes I saw going around for what these choices are going to evolve to. Of you have 2 reasonable choices and the third one's just Fortnite. It's like, I don't know which one's better, Spider-Man or Amazing Spider-Man. Probably Fortnite.
Probably.
Yeah, I really like that. Where it's like every third choice should just be Fortnite,
Yes.
regardless of what the theme is.
Epic's just like, sure, go ahead. This is good advertising.
God, now I'm imagining human-sized Inklings in Fortnite.
Oh, no. Why have you said that out loud?
See, what you need to do is just make them the normal size of Inklings and just have their hitbox be a normal human size. Just don't care. I got headshot. Somebody shot 3 feet above my head. Oh well.
No, I want straight up like the PUBG Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya costume style, just fully human proportion in really shitty, like low quality Inkling costume cosmetics. Full grown man in tiny bike shorts
Yes.
and a tight white t-shirt.
That would be really good. There's just something that hits different about PUBG crossovers, you know?
I think they got a Nier one, so they have like the most horrible looking version of Nier characters.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Flavorful.
That's terrible.
Other than that, all I played was Gravity Circuit, a game that's got a demo on Steam. It's an indie game that's very much trying to be like a Mega Man X style. It's got like Super Nintendo era graphics. 2D side scrolling. You play as a robot character going after not robot masters.
Oh no,
No, they're different.
robot messieurs.
Are
robot circuits.
Are they Mavericks? Are they irregular?
No, surprisingly, they all look a lot like your main character, but with different head pieces and different shoulder pieces. It's very strange.
All right, sure.
But it tries to add a whole bunch of different attacks and things, kind of like an Anti-Crates game, but it feels balanced at all. Like the whole thing's
so nothing like.
Yes. So you have all these movement options you need to use, like you have a grappling hook and you can dash, and you need to get good at, using the swing mechanic.
Yeah,
and that sort of stuff, and not just it's about speed runs.
Okay.
And the entire combat's melee focus. You have like hand-to-hand combat and like a 3-hit combo, and you get special moves that are literally you build up an EX bar as you kill guys, and then lets you do something like instant drop to a dude or something like that.
Cool.
Do you get a Shoryuken?
Yes.
I was gonna be shitty about it, but that's amazing. Okay. Holy shit! I guess I'll shut up.
And that's when the class bully befriended someone.
Can you teach me to play Yu-Gi-Oh?
That's when Bob pulls out his lighter.
But it looks very neat. I enjoyed playing through a couple levels. Bosses have a very different feel to them than a Mega Man game, because there's a bunch about like, okay, you need to position yourself to combo dudes. And I wish that it didn't have touch damage for bosses, at least, because as you punch, you move forward a little bit. So you have to walk back far enough so you can do it like the 3-hit combo and not walk yourself into them as you punch.
Yeah.
Which doesn't feel great. And they have plenty of attacks that are like mid and short range. So it feels like, yeah, you can probably just have them only do damage when an attack is happening. Feel a lot more.
It sounds like you're bad at this game. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to go to the Dark Souls fandom school of thought and say you should get good.
Okay, you're right.
That's a part of the gameplay, is managing your space in the battle, Bob. I'm sorry.
No, it's not. In Dark Souls, you shove your entire body up the boss's ass to avoid his attack animations. I don't know where you're getting your information.
Get good. And by good, we mean get up dead ass. That is what that stands for. Yeah, no, I actually was talking about this game last week on Big Thing to Mention with the list of games that are using a Game Boy Color art style, because all the character sprites in this are following the rules of the Game Boy Color, so they can only have 3 colors.
I noticed that, but the backgrounds don't feel like they follow that at all.
No.
So it didn't really click for me.
Yeah. I think the backgrounds are still pulling from the color limitation, as in like of the palette of the entire available colors on the Game Boy Color, but I haven't looked into it. But the sprites are really what is exactly that, very deliberately that. Mina, the whatever.
The Howler?
No.
Something like that.
No, none of that.
Hawaiian?
Yeah, Mina the Hawaiian.
Okay.
That Yacht Club Games game. Hollower.
Hollower.
Yeah.
Shock.
Oh, yeah.
Shockdala. Anyway. That is much more very direct. Everything is following the Game Boy Color limitation on graphics. But I've been really excited for Gravity Circuit. I'm excited to play it sometime after I sleep at all. Unfortunately, it's just a little bit beneath that on the priority list. But you enjoyed it?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. They'll down let you play like 2 levels, and it has a little tutorial thing.
Is it coming out soon?
I don't know exactly when it's coming out.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the other really cool mechanics, the grappling hook can be used on enemies, and if you kill them, you grab them, and it can show them, and that's actually a much stronger attack.
Ooh,
That's awesome.
that's neat.
And
Good shit.
You can grab projectiles out of there too, like a bunch of. There's the dude who like shows a football like thing at you, and you grab it and show it back, and he explodes in one hit.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like,
Man.
okay, you get it.
When are we getting another Bionic Commando?
This is the closest I can think, because the grapple does remind me a lot of that.
Yeah, they don't have any listed release date for this. That's so unfortunate. I've been excited for this game for a while. I've been following the developer on Twitter. Need to go play this demo. Because I'm finding out increasingly that everyone is pulling at HBO Max, because apparently Barbara Westchester is no longer available on YouTube. So I have to treat everything in my life like it might just disappear.
Yeah.
It turns out the reason Barbara Westchester is no longer on YouTube, one, there's the newer version, which looks a lot nicer, which you get. It's an animated film. There's your context. Anyways,
Okay.
You get access to that as a patron.
Okay.
Two, film festivals do not want to let people at their film festival that have their thing available to watch on YouTube.
Yes.
Because they haven't gotten used to the concept of YouTube is infinitely dense.
Yeah, it's really frustrating. I remember we heard about those rules years ago.
Oh, yeah. No, I worked on projects in this region where they're like, we're not going to put it on YouTube. And I'm like, why? They're like, because then we can't get into this festival, hopefully. It was that many.
Why?
Because that's how I feel important.
Why? I think festivals should let things that are on YouTube in.
They should get a clue because the internet is infinitely dense. Like,
I think people and organizations in general should stop pretending that it's 1996
Yeah, I know. It's like
when the subject of the internet comes up.
guys, we're doing a midnight launch for Big Think Dimension from now on. Go to your local GameStop. Get in line an hour in advance. But yeah. Anyways, so I'm gonna have to try that demo before they HBO Max it. Just like Barbara Westchester did.
Why can't we go back to Pepsi Maxing things?
I want to get my Big Think Dimension cassette tape.
Ooh. Damn, son, where'd you get that at?
You know, if you start putting these episodes on cassette tape, we might actually turn a profit on this shit.
Hey guys, the only homegrown podcast network in Niceville, Florida. We have some cassettes. We're going to be selling them out in front of the big lots next Wednesday. Come on by.
We got to sell them with those Japanese pencils that are actually big enough to rewind a cassette with.
Good. But yeah. Did you play anything else, Bob?
No, that's it.
Good. Hey, Chris, you play video games?
Yeah, I played a bunch of stuff. Soul Hackers 2 came out. I put about 30 hours into that.
I'm fucking envious.
That game's a lot more budget than I expected, but at the same time, it feels, what's the term I'm looking for? Like almost uplifting. Because yes, this is a very budget game, but it has more money than this tier of game used to have. So it feels there's this feeling of nature is healing, and in a few more years, maybe we'll be back to having middleware JRPGs that aren't all hallways.
That's great. That's awesome.
That being said, is this all hallways?
Yes.
Okay.
But they're hopeful hallways.
That trailer did trick me. I didn't expect that.
But Atlas, like even Persona 5 has the budget dimension of the procedurally generated dungeon, and this has a budget dimension, but at least it's designed.
Okay.
Like it's not random. There is an end.
So it's not a roguelike. Explain.
This has really good music. All the stuff in presentation is really great. It looks fucking immaculate on a next gen console because it just looks so smooth and shiny because it can be at 4K.
Yeah, that shit rules.
Like I said, the dungeons are mostly all hallways. They do have ideas sometimes. Like there's one where it's like, there's these doors, and when you go through the door, it shuts like all these other doors. But these other doors, these third set of doors open. So you have to find like the right route through this area for the doors to open and close. And there's like a teleporter maze in one section. Atlas fucking loves teleporter mazes.
Ooh. Pokemon 5th Gen didn't have any of those. They'd be nostalgic.
The combat system is a lot more basic than SMT 5 or 3. I'm never one to say that a company shouldn't innovate, but Press Turn really is the most perfect turn-based combat system ever designed.
It really ranks high,
at least
for
SMT. And this doesn't use Press Turn. It uses a thing called a stack. So every time you hit a weakness, you get one on the stack. And then at the end of their turn, something called the Sabbath happens, where you summon as many demons as numbers on the stack, and they deal damage to every enemy.
Is the Sabbath a fire sale of hell?
Sounds like a blue-black deck. I don't.
and there's stuff you can do to affect the stack, like characters can earn passive skills where it's like if this character hits weakness with fire, you get 2 on the stack instead of 1. Or if you use this, they're called commander skills, but they're like a skill anybody in the party can use, and they recharge after so many turns. So it's like, well, you can use this commander skill, and every single action gets 1 additional thing to the stack, even if it doesn't hit a weakness. So if you do it right, you can get up to like a stack of 12 and deal an enormous amount of damage. The problem is it doesn't have some of the elements of press turn where it's like because in press turn, the way press turn works, if you don't know, is you have 4 characters, you get 4 turns. Aggro, don't touch that.
Don't touch
it. You get 4 turns. If you hit a weakness, you get a half turn. And a half turn means that you go back to the first character, and it's a full action, but you can't like infinitely stack them. That's why it's a half turn. But the way that works is 1, enemies also get them. So if an enemy hits your weakness, they get a half turn. And if you hit an enemy's strength, like it's something they resist or block entirely, you lose a turn. It just takes the last one off. Or if you really fuck up and be like, I'm going to use the thunder spell that hits everybody. Oh shit, 3 of those enemies were immune to thunder. There goes all my turns. Soul Hackers 2 doesn't have any mechanic like that, so you can so even if it doesn't matter if you get your weaknesses get hit or your you hit their strengths, other than you don't do damage and you take more damage.
Huh.
But like I said, really nice on the presentation angle. The character designs are all really strong this time. Even the shopkeepers, because they have like big full art of the shopkeepers when you go into a shop.
I was curious. Do you just have the main girl on the party and then the rest are demons, or does
you have a party of 4 characters and you equip demons to them. You have like your collection of 8 to 12 demons. It's like you can expand your deck up to 12, and you just equip one onto each person. So it's like a middle step between normal SMT and Digital Devil Saga, where Digital Devil Saga had something a bit more away from demons, but you still ultimately like use demon spells and stuff. I'm having a lot of fun with it so far. It's going to be weird if the game has as much left as I think it does, because it's going to be, wow, this game sure had like 5 things happen in the span of 50 hours.
Enough, right?
Which is a very like dungeon crawler SMT type thing, where it's like, no, there's barely any story. This does have like pretty well produced cutscenes though, like where characters interact and do things, and there's camera angles. It's better than Persona 5 in that regard even. This was made in Unity. It says on the splash screen when you boot it, made with Unity.
That's interesting. You figure it would have been Unreal Engine,
right?
Huh.
Maybe this was in development the same time as SMT5, where it's like, well, we need to have people who, like, we need to have an Unreal team and a Unity team.
Yeah, it definitely had to have been in development at the same time. Them working on 2 different third-party engines parallel is very, very interesting, though.
It at least shows that they got those demon models working on anything.
Which, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the demon models also look really nice. It's nice to see some really old designs come back.
Yes.
And see how nice they're rendered in this art style. But I don't want to say too much about the plot, other than that I really like the main character Ringo, because her whole thing is that she's really condescending to everybody, but is also really dumb.
Ooh, a YouTuber.
Let's see. I also played Nabanner Bananer? No, Bananer Nabanner. That's what it's called.
Is that right? Wasn't it Banana Nababa?
It is a remake of that.
Okay. All right.
So in 2007, a freeware game called Banana Nababa came out.
Abadagaba.
I will
It
believe
is-
you.
It was a very simple little boss rush game where you fought six bosses in a row. You had an infinite supply of Castlevania axes that go in an arc and like a knife that you throw straight.
That's the dream.
And now, 15 years later, they released Banana Na Banner, a remake of it, which is free on Steam. You can go get it right now. I didn't beat it. I got up to the 5th boss. I don't like that they went with because the first game, the original had like a very cave story type aesthetic with like the sprites and everything. And this one has more of a Garbage Pail Kids type aesthetic where it has multiple playable characters. They're all hideous.
It's just like
all the
Nidhogg
bosses
2.
Yes, it is almost exactly like Nidhogg 2 even.
Oh.
The collectibles to unlock more characters are golden nose hairs.
Ah,
But it's pretty neat. It's nice. It's nice as a free game. It was very nostalgic to be like, man, this really is that same game except way uglier because I don't know why you decided this needed to be ugly. It is funny that the second character you unlock is just useless because they have a hitbox 4 times the size of the first character. But I recommend people check that out. I also played Sonic and the Fallen Star.
The fuck is... Okay. Tell me
That's a
about
Sonic fan game.
Of course.
awesome.
It's sure a Sonic fan game.
Now, when you say Sonic fan game, do you mean
Uh-huh.
like it was in that special part of Newgrounds, or?
No, this is an executable you download to your computer.
Oh wow!
it. It's a Sonic EXE.
It
What
is-
Chris is saying.
This has very gorgeous presentation. It looks incredible. It's like they I didn't play the advanced games. I have to assume this leans a little bit into the advanced aesthetics, and it feels like it leans a little bit into the advanced level design. But it looks almost like Wonder Swan color Sonic almost, but with like a much wider color palette.
All right.
It has a lot of Sonic fan games things, like there's cutscenes between zones. Sonic has the super peel out.
Cool.
It has very Sonic fan gamey ideas, like the elemental shields from Sonic 3. You know those?
Oh no, you're becoming a digital cyber demon.
Oh no.
This is surprisingly the first time this has happened since we've gone live.
Mhm.
Right.
Is it fixed yet?
Yeah, you're
Yep.
good.
Okay. Well, you know the elemental shields in Sonic 3?
Mhm.
It has those, but and maybe this is a thing in one of the advanced games do. I don't know. But they're all shapes now. Like electric is like a square barrier and fire is like a triangular barrier.
Huh.
Maybe they do that in the advanced games. I don't remember that, but I haven't like played those a ton.
Yeah, so it's like that's not something I needed, but I guess it's neat. It's like a very fan gamey idea in my mind.
Mm.
They go with the hidden rings for Chaos Emeralds. I think they hide them too well.
I was
they
worried
cer-
we were talking about secret rings.
They certainly hide them a lot better than Sonic 3 and Knuckles did.
Yeah.
The Chaos Emerald stage is pretty cool. It's like it's like CD or Mania where you're behind Sonic and he's chasing something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it has very nice music. It's very, very pretty. I recommend people check it out, because like once again, it's a fan game. It's free. You can just go get it. Sonic and the Fallen Star.
Cool.
How edgy is the plot? Is it like
not at
cringe?
all.
Okay, all right.
It doesn't have any dialogue yet. It's like a fallen star that puts off power fell. Sonic has to get it before Eggman, and then you fail to get it before Eggman, and it explodes into 5 pieces, and you have to go get the pieces.
And Amy's dead, but really, who cares?
Yeah, Amy died of COVID like Chris Thorndike.
God.
Nothing will be the same ever again.
Just to be clear, I've never watched Sonic X, and I plan on doing that. So that fucking video game's gonna be living rent free in my brain the whole time. Oh, it's tragic. It's so sad.
But that's all I played worth talking about.
I guess then that means we have to talk about the
It's coming. I can feel it.
the Podlord. Yes, that's right. Podlords.
Oh, fuck.
Oh shit.
Podlords in a weird small window.
You know, they're even better this way.
It's a new efficient form factor.
But yes, that's right. The Podlords. Podlords such as E. Lee Broyles, Corey Brown, Borbup, Red Blaze 27, Suzu Shiro, Emperor Zero, Shibuya Gato, the Arabian Sand Boa. Yes, this is a real snake.
Good snake.
Cloud Strife in Address 2. Finally, the sequel we've all been waiting for. We've all been waiting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank God. Thought it was just me for a second. 101 Shades of Wonderful Remastered. Bland cringe is the genre of Saints Row 2022, and there are so many different varieties of softlock there are so many different varieties of softlock I can take. Dropped out of 109.
Ugh.
WTF, Spider-Man. It's September. You know what that means. Out of season early Halloween profile pictures for some reason.
What are you, a Family Dollar?
DFW 3K. Tom Bizzle relaxing after finishing writing Gears 5 and Battlefield Hardline. You see, he has ham fists. I can zoom in if you want.
I do not.
Oh,
want you
okay.
to do that.
I have no hands and I must write.
So how's Gears going, you guys?
It's so smart and funny too.
Are those the bricks he kills women with?
Yes, actually. Kristen. Figma Demi-Fiend Nocturne and Raido Kuzunoha Devil Summoner Serotonin Edition. B and 12. Behold my son.
I mean, he already beholden him.
True.
Yeah.
Kyle Bjork. Maddie Moe. Iron Aggro. Bligdal Blue. Schligdas Poo. Lad.
Yep, there it is. It's real and there forever.
We can't undo this, unfortunately.
It's too late.
Monster Hunter, Ryzen and Raiden. Cooper Tank. When you see this, Pass the Remote will be on vacation and finally getting to play 13 Sentinels. Please, no spoilers.
Welcome to the other side.
Geez, Dante, I'm a talking pair of swords. Those can hurt people, you know. Cut them up and make the blood pour out. Oh, God.
Yes. Modding community, get on that shit right now.
Oh, jeez, I think you can use Royal Guard to parry this, but you gotta be used. The timing's really specific.
One's more to the other's, Rick. No.
If you're not very good at games, you should probably just pick Swordmaster and keep it the whole game.
He do be drinking, though.
Aw.
Indigo Sykes. Good try, team. good try, Team Scissors. Your experience will be valuable in future Splatfests.
It's ominous.
But I was told that Big Man's team was always Fortnite.
It just doesn't make sense. My face when wife it. You see, that's Maractus Phoenix. This is what Pokemon Days does.
That is a complete fabrication. That is clearly Eminem.
We know. That came in immediately. I'm sorry, it's Florida. Whether it's inside the prison or outside, it all looks the same. AI ho, probably.
Fuck.
A raccoon letting the next podlord know that Yoko Taro has already been a VTuber and had retired. Shinji16 wants to remind you that he's not somewhere you'd call Earth. He's talking to a cuff, and oh yeah, fuck all of SCOTUS.
A lot of value packed into that one.
My mortal enemy. Me too, Podlord. Why couldn't they be off-roading gears? Dragon Quest 10 offline Western release info be like... And guys, you need to understand, there's no image.
Yeah, of course not.
It's just the default Patreon image.
I expect the egg from Twitter.
I know, right?
Oh, now I'm sad.
Not to be outdone by Tim Sweeney, NetEase also buys a dead cat from the pet store.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that big thing premonition came true 1 week ago, so that way it could set up for this podlord for this week's news. The Super Mim. Lane's World 25. That's right. We're gonna cheat. See, that's Verizon. Some people may view my tactics as cheating. I view it as saving the stream a couple hours. Saraline. Tomothy Pfister is playing Chrono Cross and really appreciates that it actively rewards the player for telling Kid to fuck off.
Yep.
Bearded Joe. And I want you to know, I put your image in here, Bearded Joe, because I realized that looks too close to Marcus Phoenix's dad if he was a locust. That's all
he
I can
does
think
appear
of.
to be a brilliant scientist.
Why didn't we get a scientist locust?
I don't know. That would have been so much better.
The writers of Gears are too stupid to understand the goal they have.
100%. Pleochrome. Krungle Spum. BBW Wild Wings 420 is growing strong and healthy, like Minmo. Frosty Noodle, but no longer frosty due to summer temperatures, and denied. Thank you very much to our podlords.
Thank you, Paul Lawrence.
Thank you, Pod Lord.
Thank you, Pod.
Thank you, podlord! Oh,
And if you'd like
jeez,
to become
thank you, podlord.
Oh, geez, if you'd like to become a pod,
Oh, no.
you go to Patreon at patreon.com/GB podcast. Oh, you can give us money there. Oh, you get things in return. things like early access to Chugging Bleach. Oh, man, we watch all the Bleach, even the bad stuff like the Bound Arc. I can't believe we watched that, Rick. Oh, jeez. We also get extended armchair dev pitches and gamer premonitions when those shows force us to leave ideas on the floor. Oh, man, there's a lot of things on the floor, Rick. I might trip. Oh, jeez. You also get a patron exclusive show once a month where you get to vote on what good. I'm done. You can vote on what good or bad thing we have to watch and talk about. That's patreon.com/GB podcasts. And if you don't have any money, it always helps immensely to host us on Thursdays or raid or just tell your friends. If you give us more money, I will never do that voice again. Patreon.com/GB podcast.
That is true. If we see that number go up, he will never do that voice
Yeah,
again.
Dan, I would like to change my answer from the last mailbag about going back in time and unaliving a video game.
Cool. I wonder what to. It's a fucking mystery, gang.
Dan, we forgot to talk about how you played as Morty a lot in Multiverses.
You know, you can just not out me on stream. You could do that. You could just not fucking bring it up.
It's sure horrible.
Bob, that's not even the worst part.
No.
The worst part isn't the fact I play as Morty. The worst part is I spent real money to get President Morty.
Yeah, what is wrong with you?
Understandable.
He doesn't have a single different line.
Oh.
His only difference
Oh,
is
gee, Rick, look out. That's Velma. She's going to call the police on you. Oh, geez.
once again,
You all have the power to end this.
you all have the power to end this. We don't.
This is now a hostage situation.
100%, and you can negotiate with money at patreon.com/GB podcast. But yeah, when you select him, he puts his orange juice in the fancy glass.
Mhm.
He does this.
Yeah.
That's the only. I don't know how much it cost me to buy him because I already had the gems, and I don't want to know.
That's
Fair.
what the gems are there for.
Yes,
Yeah, that
is
layer of
100
separation.
That is 100% what the gems are there for exactly. But you know what the people are here for? Smooth transitions
Oh.
to the news.
Oh.
I hear we got news.
Is that what you heard?
Yeah, I heard we got some news.
So somebody's been talking?
Yeah, people are talking. Do you hear the secrets that they keep while they're talking in their sleep? Oh. PS5's shedding some weight. I think it was 500 grams. Is that right? Or is it 300 grams? It's a very small amount of grams.
It was like I was going to say 3 till you said 5, and now they both sound right.
Okay, so
It
let's
was
go
some
with 3.
grams.
Yeah. They're losing some weight.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Those $5,000 cost us $50 more per unit or something?
Yeah, something like that. Maybe they should take that back off in all those other territories.
I think they said now the with disc edition weighs as much as the original digital did.
Interesting. I have no frame of reference for that because no human being I know bought the digital.
Right? It like that weight never entered the Akashic record because no human experienced
No,
it.
it's true. It's very true. This is all theoretical numbers we're talking about here. This is how much a PS5 digital would weigh. But yeah, so that's good. Chances are they, because to be frank, the cooling solution in the original PS5 is pretty fucking over the top with its liquid metal interface and shit. I assume this means they made a smaller fab size processor to make it generate less heat. That is what you assume in this situation.
Mhm.
We don't have evidence of that. We'll
Right.
find out when it comes out and someone immediately tears it apart. So that's exciting. Looking forward to that. Let's get the most personal bad news out of the way for me. Okay.
Okay.
Halo Infinite roadmap comes out. They have a bunch of things. They have a bunch of things on the roadmap. I'm trying to look for things I care about. There's basically nothing I care about until new campaign content in March to June of next year. And I'm like, that's rough that we have all these bullet points that kind of suck and that. And then, because when they announced this roadmap with the image, they put up a 30-minute video. And 13 minutes in, Joseph Staten goes, yeah, we decided to redirect development resources away from couch co-op towards other things. Now, something I didn't know about, this perfectly mirrored a statement that happened in June about, hey, we figured out that the online for Halo Infinite's kind of busted and has these desyncs between these players based on melee stuff and all this other stuff. This is a problem, you should solve it. And they said, well, here's the thing. The people who could solve that are now working on other parts of Halo Infinite. We rediverted those development resources to other problems.
You are making Halo. You do not get to come out and say some broke ass shit like that.
I know.
Right?
What the fuck?
It's so upsetting.
You have the
You're
biggest
the
company in the
flagship
world.
franchise of the video game division of the third largest company on earth. You don't get to, we don't have resources, anything.
Oh,
Sorry, only one manager has that key and they're on lunch.
yeah.
Yes, that is
So-
the feeling
so,
it has.
About the thing we've been saying for like 2 years about how Game Pass is going to have prices that won't be obvious.
Right. It'll have effects.
Yup.
It's really terrible. I honestly, this was the last moment I had any hope for Infinite. I gave up. I was holding out and I was like, maybe 1 year after launch, it'll be updated enough to fix stuff to be there. We'll be there finally. But no, when with the announcement of them canceling couch co-op, seeing how far out they push content, I think what did they say about season 3 of content? Like it's insanely far out.
Yeah, it doesn't start till March at earliest.
Yeah, they also didn't like none of these updates that they're showing. The roadmaps aren't like, here's a bunch of maps you love.
No.
I don't know what they're doing over there, and it's clear they don't either. Like their priorities are so insane. When a year and a half after launch, we're supposed to look forward to, because this is the roadmap for next year between March and June, we're supposed to look forward to quality of life improvements. That shouldn't take fucking 18 months.
It's starting to have an eerie Destiny launch feel of like stuff's happening. Who knows?
This is so much worse than Destiny launch. This thing is so salted earth over there. It's so upsetting. It's so upsetting.
It's taking them 2 years to get Forge out and Mission Replay out.
Yeah,
no way, Halo Infinite only came out last year. It got delayed past the launch. I forgot.
Yes.
Yeah, it is a funny thing when people point out, like, so what was it on the Halo subreddit yesterday, I believe? People were like, now tomorrow, when they announced that couch co-op is delayed or Forge is delayed, a reminder, it was a feature that was supposed to ship with the game in 2020. Like, that was the post yesterday. They didn't realize couch co-op would get cut.
Right.
It's weird that like that element of it is so broken, because obviously they completely rebooted development when Staten came in. Like the things he said in that interview a while back pretty much confirm it.
Yeah,
and also you can look at the game they shipped and be like,
or the
obviously this was made in 2 years.
Yeah.
But it's weird for couch co-op to be a victim of that, especially when you take into account the fact they did a big Series X version of Gears 5 and split screen is still 30 FPS in that version.
Of Gears 5?
Yeah, of Gears 5. Like it's weird that they seem to be explicitly not caring about that element at all, like as a Microsoft overall thing.
Yeah, like obviously all of this is a cost of them doing the giant open world. And I know the giant open world works on game journalists. That's what they want. For some reason, critically speaking, if your game takes 18 hours to beat instead of 9, you will do better, seemingly. But the sacrifices were so many at this point. It took them something like 6 years to make this Halo. And it's so obviously not done, and it's never going to get done, is how it's starting to really feel. Like, it's really starting to sink into me. Like, we're a year and a half after launch, and they're not even whispering about the idea of, like, you're going to fight the Endless soon.
I think it's really important to know there's no reason to believe this roadmap. Everything on it's already been delayed to later in this roadmap.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what?
It's a fire over there.
Yeah, why would anyone respect this at all?
I don't like, and that's the thing. We can't put weight in the words of anyone at 343 anymore, because it's like Bonnie Ross literally sat there and said, guys, we're going to make sure the next Halo has split screen after 5 didn't.
Yeah, this is really important to us as a studio.
Yeah, someone sent you that thing on Twitter, Dan, which was just 343 knows Halo 4 had a lot of problems, but we're resolved to make Halo 5 better. We know that the Master Chief Collection had a lot of problems. We're resolved to make Halo 5 better. We know Halo 5 had a lot of problems. We're resolved to make Halo Infinite better. We know that Halo Infinite has a lot of problems. We're trying to fix them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this is possibly why I've given Microsoft overall the least rope out of everyone, because as someone who, like, Halo legitimately was one of the most important gaming franchises to me. Like, it was up there with Smash. Like, it was a great fucking franchise, and they fucking ruined it. Like, and this isn't they had a weird idea and ran with it.
No.
4 is kind of that, plus really shitty monetization in the multiplayer, right? Or was that 5?
I think that was 5.
Okay. And then 5's just that worse version of that. And even that I'm more on board with by a lot than Infinite. And it's just every time there are objective fucking problems with their game. Like, you could just be like, this shit ain't done. The buggy mess. There's no content. It's just the most weird. You checked boxes, some of them, not even all of them, and then just ship the thing.
Gears 5, we didn't talk about in the Gears 5 section, but that's the glitchiest Gears.
Oh, yeah. We had tons of issues. And the weird thing is Gil from Galluria on Twitch.
Yeah.
They're also running into a ton themselves.
It sounds like Chris also did.
Yep, more than once, enemies clipped under the map, and I couldn't kill them to progress, so I had to restart from the most.
Yeah.
When your
Yep.
game not only has restart from checkpoint, but restart from previous checkpoint.
Right.
Yeah.
You know something's up when they put that in.
That is the right flag of options.
Welcome to the woods. Here's your bear spray, and here's your mega bear spray. Have fun.
That's weird. I don't expect my pause menu to have features like GitHub roll back to a stable version.
Holy shit.
What the fuck am I playing? This was also the Gears where we downloaded it. Then we booted it and said we downloaded 6% of it, but in a different menu said we downloaded 20% of it, and then it needed to download more, so we had to close it again so it could download faster, and then install the game again. So then we booted it, and it was like, okay, I'm actually playable now. And we're like, I don't know who to blame here, Microsoft, the Coalition, or both. So, anyways, I give up on Halo Infinite. I'm done now.
Yeah, this is the
There's
last straw
no
moment.
hope. I do not care about this game anymore.
But Dan, they're going to add 2 maps sometime next year.
I don't care. I will probably try them if it's a map I care about, right? Like some of the iconic 2 maps.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't. As much as I know the original launch version of Halo Infinite is truly bad, there's a lot of me that wanted to believe a year after launch they would get their shit together, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like everyone's had that coworker where it's like they start at your place, they don't have their shit together, and you can't tell if they're just like don't give a shit about their job, so they're not trying, or they're just so new that they can't get a grasp of it. And you just keep giving them rope, and it's like, well, it's a year later and they're still showing up drunk. I can't give them any more rope. I cannot care. The Endless expansion will come out. I'll play it because I need to know.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot sit here and entertain, oh, they're going to fix it eventually. Yeah, this is going to be the update. We're going to play it through. It's going to be great this time. Upsetting. We're moving on. Chris, I'm stealing yours to launch into your news. I'm just stealing one bullet. Sly Cooper is being added to PlayStation Plus, but only as streaming. That's not real.
Yeah, that isn't real. That's nothing. How dare you fucking proudly announce this?
Yeah, use your actual like Sly Cooper accounts and stuff to do that.
Hey guys, Sly Cooper is back and it's more latent than ever. It's back and it's ready for battle. Yeah, no, that's not real back compat.
No.
Simultaneously to this event occurring, I remember the Jack and Daxter decompilation exists, where you can just play that on your PC now.
Oh, wow.
Jack and Daxter 1.
That's cool.
It is so cool. You can run it in 4K. You can run it at frame rates higher than 60. Shit's awesome. Meanwhile, Sly Cooper's over here like, hey, I'm cool too, guys. You want to decompilate me? Hey, baby, I'm Sly Cooper. Want to decompilate me? Just put your credit card in below. People like, hey, Dan, comment on the last big thing. And I'm like, I know that made you uncomfortable. They're like, decompilate isn't a word. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Was that really the problem with that joke?
It's the problem I'm having with that joke. 'Cause, like, it sounds like some horrible deleted weapon from an X-rated version of a Ratchet and Clank game. The Decompilator.
It turns their outsides into insides and insides into outsides.
It just like chunks them like that one room in the Resident Evil movie.
Oh, okay.
You just like plasma net and boom.
Yes. Feel free to cover the rest of your news, Chris.
Okie dokie. The creators of Wild Arms and Shadow Hearts launched a double Kickstarter for their spiritual successors called Armed Fantasia for Wild Arms and Penny Blood for Shadow Hearts. They wanted $750K. They were very explicit, like, no, we have people lined up to publish this. This is like for how much money they give us.
Oh yeah, this was just a prove it Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a prove it Kickstarter. They hit that goal. They also hit 1 million for the console stretch goal, which was PS5 series. And they were like, if there's a new Nintendo thing, then we'll see. But it's not going to be the Switch.
Nintendo might have some sort of thing, some sort of system. It might be on that.
There was so much stuff on that Kickstarter, I can't go entirely into it. It looks very nice. Both games look good. They're obviously using Unreal 4 or Unity, which is probably the only thing that would make shipping either of these possible.
So this was one Kickstarter for 2 games.
Yes.
What
Yes.
sort of stupid asshole puts one donation goal up for 2 different things?
It's weird how there's like so many only one goals. There's like so many where it's like, well, you only get this game or you only get this game. I of course went down to get both games physical.
Okay.
But yeah, it looks good. I'm happy. Like, luckily, there's nothing in either of them that like are real attached to the IPs. Because like the only thing in Wild Arms is the term arm, which you can't really copyright.
No.
And Shadow Hearts is like, no, we're an alternate history series. Our villains are like Rasputin and Henry Bacon. You know, like our NPCs are. There's what is his name? Oh my god, it's completely the Cthulhu mythos.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say John D. I was like, I know
What's
video
the
games.
actual
are really
guy's
Lovecraft.
What's the actual guy's name? Yeah, Lovecraft. Like, there's HP Lovecraft. He'll give you side quests to go kill Shoggoths to get to get stuff. I think John D is in this.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Nice.
Be disappointing if you weren't, right?
Yeah, but it's
right.
like, the hero turns into the demons of the Lesser Key of Solomon. And the Lesser Key of Solomon is also like your magic system and your summon system. So there's nothing they can't just use again.
Right? Like, this game just smells like the Count Saint-Germain is going to show up at any moment.
It is a very similar situation to Castlevania, except I don't think they're going to be as restrained as Iga. Or Iga was like, well, I can't just make it Dracula.
Right.
No one's stopping these people.
Right. Aggro, real quick. This just reminds me. I'm gonna need you to spoil the next game Kurt Marganow is working on, because you followed us when you spoiled Uncharted 3 in advance. So if you could just psychically do that in advance, maybe he'll double follow us on Twitter, and that'd be cool.
Sure, just point me at a trailer.
Okay, there we go. The second it comes out, I'm like, there you go. Do it again.
But yeah, go check out that Kickstarter if either of those games interest you. I like both franchises a lot. Sony sure is stupid that a creator of one of their first party franchises is doing a Kickstarter for a spiritual successor when the developer of that franchise still exists and is still making games in the same genre. Because the developer of Wild Arms was Mediavision, who is currently making those Valkyria Chronicle games for Sega. It would be so easy to just be like, hey, why don't you make us something, that costs like $10 million and would make a lot of our more niche fans happy. And then Jim Ryan's like, I can't perceive of a game if it sells less than 10 million copies.
I can't even see people who don't drive Mercedes-Benzes.
I honestly, now I do wonder, like, if Insomniac's dick was not gigantic from Spider-Man, would they have even gotten to make that new Ratchet and Clank?
Maybe. I think the last Ratchet and Clank did all right numbers that made them go, well, and if it wasn't covered in dog shit from being tied to this movie and a remake of a pre-existing thing and mildly disliked by the fans or heavily disliked.
In what world does Sony see fit to give money to Helldivers 2 and not a new Wild Arms?
I don't
What's
know.
wrong with them?
Earth.
This one.
Yeah,
You've been
I
here
don't-
for the
yeah.
last couple of years,
I
right?
know, it sucks.
But yeah, I say here, and it's like the real solution to this is they need to make a brand like Fox Searchlight, where Fox goes and they spend 10 million or 5 million to make an indie movie.
They had this in the PS1 gen. That's what the studio Contrail was. It was it was a Sony studio that would go in and help on games, like they helped on the first Wild Arms, I think. They helped on Legend of Legaia, and like one or two other things. It would be nice if they just brought something like that back, but I don't think Jim Ryan can perceive of Japan. at all.
Yeah, I don't know, but they really should just have the PlayStation branding that is for smaller projects.
Oh,
That would-
absolutely.
that would really help a lot of things if they could have super high end and then anywhere in middle or lower tier. I don't know what you call it.
PlayStation Studios, and then you write Junior and Crown. This is just to get Jim Ryan to
Sure.
approve of it.
And we-
He's like, haha, tiny baby studio. Sell 80 million copies and we'll put the real logo on there.
Yeah, and their mascot can be Polygon Man, but we'll just call him Polygon Face, and he'll be like, "Oh, we're gonna play a new game."
Do we have to put this on our game? Yes.
It's Twisted Metal. You're gonna be Calypso. It's gonna be so much fun.
One weird thing about this Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
They have the one main stretch goal you see is it unlocks and progresses.
Yeah.
But then there are 2 side ones, one for each game, and they don't tell you what you're working towards. They tell you a hint about what it is. And it's like, no, guys, put up what you're offering here,
Yeah.
please.
I can't believe they just wrote in "I spy with my little eye" here on the fucking stretch goals.
Yeah, it's literally just like, come on. You're asking for now another 500,000.
Mm-hmm.
You need motivation other than New Game Plus mode.
I don't know. I'm always of the opinion of like fuck all these stretch goals and stuff.
Yeah.
So really, they should just like not even.
If they exist, I want to know what they are.
Yeah,
That's my
of
main
course.
thing.
Yeah, understandable. 100% understandable.
They're making a new Mafia game. They announced it and then said it's still like 3 or 4 years away. I hope it's actually a Mafia game and not what Mafia 3 was.
That's, that should be expected, but after 3.
Well,
Mhm.
they
Yeah,
didn't.
we
They
don't
didn't
know.
seem to understand that their appeal wasn't being Grand Theft Auto.
Hmm.
It was being a game where you're playing as. I considered like the key things to Mafia being you're set in around like the 30s or 40s. It's kind of immersive simmy, like you can't drive like in Lunatic or you can immediately get heat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like it's very narrative focused. And then Mafia 3 was none of those things.
I know.
Yeah.
Thought that was really funny.
I'm certainly hoping that they go back. Like, look. Everybody needs to sound like they're like I'm in The Sopranos.
Right. That's
just how it
obviously
is.
what people wanted to see when they go see something called Mafia.
Yeah.
Sony and Tencent now own roughly 15% of FromSoft each.
Okay.
Wow, this is a responsible way to report this news. Thank you, Chris Wolfhart.
Didn't
I don't
they
know
both
why
have some
multiple-
stake in it?
Yeah,
I
they already
don't
had
know.
some. They
Yeah.
already had some stake.
Yeah, I think they both already had some stake and just increased it a little bit each on each side.
I don't know why multiple publications wrote the headlines of Sony and Tencent now own 30% of FromSoft.
Oh, Jesus.
When No, that's together, guys.
Yeah.
Guys, they're gonna buy them, and it's like they're gonna acquire shares. Why aren't you reporting the Epic thing the same way?
It does
Yeah.
feel like that this is not to acquire them, but more to ward off someone else acquiring them.
Right, that's almost always what it is.
Mhm.
Because if you paid attention during my segment of the big segment over the last like couple of years, Sony's invested in Epic a number of times.
Yeah.
No one ever reported it in a way where it's like, oh my god, Sony's gonna buy Epic. Coming up next in news,
Damn,
a
I can't believe
warthog
someone's.
eats a fucking elephant.
I can't believe someone's going to buy FromSoft after they've shipped the biggest game they will ever make.
Oh my fucking god.
Good business sense.
Yes.
NetEase acquires Quantic Dream.
Okay.
They acquired
Personally-
Dead Cat. Yeah.
Personally, I would not buy a studio where it just came out. We're so broken, we're not shipping our big Star Wars game until 2027.
Look, there's like a language barrier there.
The moment I read this headline, my immediate gut reaction was somebody at NetEase went, if nobody else is going to put a stop to this, I will.
It would be funny if David Cage is just like immediately excommunicated from his own studio.
That would be great.
And then they sell it back to the employees as a co-op.
Oh, wow. And then someone's like, see, China's communist.
Xi Jinping's secret plan.
Yep. Oh, man, that would be fucking amazing.
I don't know if I should. I don't know, guys. I'm not seeing the reason why I should be opposed to his secret plan at this rate.
It seems like a pretty good plain old plan.
Yeah, no, put this shit on a billboard. Fuck.
Voice of Cards, The Beast of Burden was officially announced. It's out September 13th.
That's fucking hilarious. That's 3 in less than a year.
Mm-hmm.
What's the song that
Well, it
has
doesn't-
your Beast of Burden in it?
Beast of Burden.
Okay. I just make sure.
Thank you, Aggro.
Anytime.
What was that thing you were talking about? Listening to people on a podcast not knowing an answer is like being trapped in hell.
Yeah, listening to people on a podcast try to remember a piece of trivia that you know is the closest you will ever come to knowing what it's like to being a ghost haunting a house.
Yeah, the first Voice of Cards game came out in October last year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just decided
Well,
to nail this
well, once
episodic
you,
gaming thing.
Yeah, once you got the systems down, you can just crank them out.
Mm-hmm.
Did the last one feel like it was setting up for the end of a trilogy or anything, or were these wholly separated?
I don't know. I realized I didn't actually finish the last one yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, Aggro. We finish games around here. That's what we do.
I really more Norway games.
Video watchers
Not
get to see the
19
face I'm making, anyways. Go ahead.
1996 arcade game Osman is coming to modern platforms. If you
This
don't know
isn't
what
real.
Osman is, you don't know what Osman is. It is a game by the creator of the arcade version of Strider. That is them making another arcade version of Strider,
Yeah, it's pretty fucking
but
similar.
with like a 1001 like Arabian Nights type
Oh.
aesthetic.
Mm.
Yeah, there's also something about like Trip World, but nobody knows what Trip World is. We have some leaks that maybe Trip World's coming back, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. But no one knows what that
I
is.
feel like I've heard of Trip World before seeing that news.
Yes, I think GameSat covered it. And that's how you
probably.
know.
That feels like something they would do.
Yeah, it's a really adorable game. I hope that comes true. Did anyone else write down the news about the Toho sequel leaking ahead of DTS?
No.
Yeah, the thing that is getting that remake, the Metroidvania one, apparently has a sequel and it leaked ahead of time.
Oh, the Castlevania one with with
Komajo Remilia, I believe.
with Remilia, Remilia Scarlet.
Yeah, so Komajo Remilia 2 leaked ahead of TGS. So apparently we're going to see that there. That's pretty exciting. Also, what was it? There was a treasure shooter that also leaked, apparently going to be shown off at Tokyo Game Show, getting ports to more modern
I
platforms.
saw Radiant Silvergun.
Radiant
Silvergun,
Silvergun.
yeah. Uh-huh.
I really hope that's not locked to the Switch or something insane.
Yeah, so do I. Ugh.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Eterno Blade 2 developer accuses their publisher P-Cube of withholding payment and publishing rights. The way they say it, they never got the money that they were promised, like the baseline money.
Mm-hmm.
They were never given publisher rights back when they said, hey, give us publisher right back. You're not fulfilling your end of the contract. And apparently P-Cube was like, we'll give you publishing rights if you sign this thing promising to never tell anybody that we didn't pay you. So instead they came forward and were like, they didn't pay us or give us the publishing rights back. We're trying to get them back. Please don't buy any version published by P-Cube. Fuck them. And this seems to be a problem P-Cube has repeatedly because it came up that multiple other developers were like, yeah, they fucked us.
Yeah, I swear to God, they got called out in public less than 2 weeks ago by someone else. Exact same circumstances.
I like how retweeting this got Twitter to promote a tweet of another PQ published game. I was like, oh my God. They're everywhere.
I brought you this body. Thank you, Twitter. Thank you, you demented cat. It's a present.
Yeah, it just keeps happening.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
This is insane. How'd they get away with this more than once?
I know,
Oh, right.
like,
It's a big corporation.
Well, it's not even that. It's just like it's even explicit. They were in their press release like, we're a small indie dev who can't afford to lawyer up and hit them.
Mhm.
And they know that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the sort of thing you expect to come out about 505, not P-Cube.
Right.
Because I feel
Yeah.
like 505 signing a lot of the Game Pass deals and other things like that, where it's like, I could totally see something like that happening, especially since certain people who used to work on Indivisible, who we will not name here, said their relations with said publisher were pretty bad. So when it was P-Cube, that actually floored me, where I was just like, out of left field, some guy's running onto the football field with a knife. Who the fuck
Wow,
are you?
It's almost like it's a bad system and not bad actors within the system.
Whoa.
No, that
This can't be true. The new BioShock told me otherwise.
the new game or the new TV series?
I'm gonna steal one of your bullets, Bob, because it ties into me needing to be mad.
Go for it.
Do it.
Nisa was gonna do a showcase on the 7th where they announced 4 new games. That's Nippon Ichi Software of America. They accidentally posted them already.
Very smart.
Those 4 games are Grim Grimoire Once More, which is the re-release of Grim Grimoire.
Woo, it's
Void
coming over.
Terrarium 2, which is some action RPG, possibly roguelite thing. I couldn't ascertain its form from its gameplay footage. Process of Elimination, which is a murder game visual novel about detectives, which we've talked about prior to this, like more than a year ago. And Monster Menu, which is like a tactical RPG dungeon crawling thing where I guess you cook the monsters.
Feel like that showed up at some E3, but maybe not.
And now I'm going to shit on Nisa. So Nisa is in charge of publishing the Trails of series in the West. They wrenched it out of Xseed's hands.
Oh.
And then had to hire all the same people from Xseed because their own employees were too incompetent to do it. So they decided on the most psychotic release schedule possible for this franchise, where it's like, we're prioritizing the 2 PSP games. The next actual game people care about is at the end of 2023. So while every other franchise in the world is getting faster turnaround on localizations, we're going to be 4 years behind.
Yeah.
In response to this, some fans cooked up a thing that ties a spreadsheet into the Chinese PC port of one of the new games, where it's like it like matches. It tells you where to go on the spreadsheet to see what line you're to read in English. Nisa has since lashed out and made them take all of this shit down, including the shit from earlier projects they've done. This is unbelievably stupid for reasons I will now explain. One, the people who are going to buy a Chinese port of a PC port of a game and then play it via spreadsheet will also buy your polished localized version, you stupid asshole. They're a super fan.
Right.
2, a lot of the people who worked on these things are also probably freelance translators who now despise you. So it's going to create a labor problem at some point. And 3, this can serve people who will not be served by your American release of the game. So we're once again at fuck South America, I guess.
Yeah.
Like this is there. Even when Nintendo was taking like 18 months to localize Fire Emblem Fates, and somebody cooked together a patch to let people play it before Nintendo put out, even Nintendo didn't care to go shut that down. It's like, no, any effect on sales, negligible effect on sales this could possibly have is far better than whatever nightmare we unleash by creating a big to-do about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This.
And
No
apparently
idea
there
how.
was just a few too many reviews in English on the Chinese page, the page for the Chinese port, and it broke their mind.
Great.
And Nisa is, of course, one of the most poorly managed companies in this industry who continue to exist really despite themselves. Because, like, nothing against the people doing the actual work.
Right.
every single person in a position of management should be banished to exile. They should have to be like Napoleon, go live on an island, have syphilis eat their brain.
Weird that they injected them with syphilis before dropping them off. That seems a bit much, but
How
No.
how are they announcing 4 things and none of those are Disgaea 7?
I don't know.
I guess they want to wait until that's actually out in Japan, or they're trying to do the stupid fucking deal with Nintendo again.
Yeah, I would totally see them doing that again. They are proving themselves to be incompetent on every level.
I wish someone would leak what they got out of that Nintendo deal, because I don't know. They didn't get marketing.
No.
Nintendo barely covered them in directs and stuff. So did Nintendo really shell out for it? I feel like Nintendo would be like, we're good.
Yeah, I don't think it financially made sense.
Was it just some deranged thing like, we can cater to Switch fans? Even though that failed when we got the licensing for SNK Heroines, which immediately bombed through the core of the earth. We thought it would sell a lot on Switch because we're crazy.
Maybe Disgaea 5 broke their brains.
I mean,
that's
clearly
what
did.
happened. That's what happened. But you'd think they'd figure out that no, the Switch at launch was when like 3s were selling 1 million copies because Switch fans were insane.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the ebook problem.
Yeah, now you have to bring a thing over that's like 5 years old, but great, actually. Like Nier Automata.
Yeah, you think after running through this with like 3 or 4 releases, they would learn.
No.
Not happening.
No, not
But
happening.
we don't know if they're actually doing that. It might just be like we don't have like a real thing yet, so we're not announcing it. Or maybe that would have been at the end of the show as like a bonus thing, and they just didn't leak that.
Maybe.
Guys,
and my
please,
final piece of news.
our big hidden bullet here. Please be excited. The company that has 3 of the 4 words that our company has in our title that owns us, we're bringing their game over, and everyone's like, holy shit. Anyways, feel free to move on, Chris.
The last thing is they announced Assassin's Creed Mirage. They're going to show us more on September 10th. They gave us a great piece of art with a guy T-posing in the air.
Is he on some sort of voyage?
It doesn't look like he came from anywhere. It just looks like he's floating.
Bob, you should feel bad for bringing up the Mirage Voyage.
The Mirage Voyage.
Look what you did, Bob. This is your fault.
I know, but I can't stop. It's in my brain.
Stupid Game Awards.
I'm really excited to see if this is a real Assassin's Creed game, because that seems to be what they're implying.
That's what they're saying and desperately messaging with the setting.
I really hope they're not full of it.
I will believe that shit when I see it.
Yeah, especially because the initial rumor was that this was supposed to be a expansion of Valhalla.
Yes.
Like built off that, because Ubisoft, I can't see Ubisoft shipping an entirely new Assassin's Creed game with the past 2 years they've had, considering COVID was in the middle of them.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, there he is. There he is spawning from nowhere like a fucking Dragon Age 2 enemy. No, I'm sorry. That's a dated reference. A Saints Row reboot enemy.
There you go. There you go.
By the way, I think that might be the most unexcusable our game isn't done thing. When enemies just fade in a foot off the ground and drop down and activate.
Yes. Yeah. That's some Mass Effect Andromeda shit right there.
All over the Saints Row reboot.
Mm-hmm.
Like at least give me like a pitch black doorway I can't go through for them to run out of, or something.
Any sort of decency. Come on.
A bush.
It's funny. I've seen people who are just pissed seeing this because they go, "That's right, Assassin's Creed started as a Prince of Persia game, and now this looks more Prince of Persia than ever. I'm so mad." Like, I've seen that more now than ever before.
Honestly, this art, though bad, makes me think, oh, it's like Assassin's Creed again. Thank you.
Right? Yeah. That's the only thing I think too.
Right. It's like, take me back to that setting. All. I cared about that.
Put like an assassin in the game.
Yeah,
right.
Like, so
An assassin is someone who beats you to death slowly, right?
As long as his number is at or above yours.
Yeah, otherwise you do 0 damage. I'm really I'm hoping this is going to be going back to the classic Assassin's Creed because I don't think I've ever run up on a person who's like, the new RPG ones, I didn't like Assassin's Creed till those.
Yeah, I've never met one person like that.
Do even people I meet who do like those, or they also like the old stuff?
There was this guy. I ran into, Tom Thumb, all the time. I went to high school with him. And during these sets of years where they did the Assassin's Creeds that were Assassin's Creed games, I'd go in and he would just talk about it. He would keep going. Hugely fanatic guy. Really loved talking about Assassin's Creed to me, despite me not having a ton of experience with Assassin's Creed. I go in there, once they start the RPG ones, he became the video of Mike Stacklasa drinking from the giant flask. I swear to God. Before my eyes. I'm just like, hey man, how about Assassin's Creed? And he has the flask, it's this big, and he just goes for it. It's as someone who doesn't like Assassin's Creed, I never thought I would have to be sad for people who like Assassin's Creed. Because they did, what was it, 3 versions of 2, or is it 4? Those people were well fucking fed for a while there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was 3. Because there's regular 2.
Brotherhood,
In there.
Revelations.
Yeah, that's all 3 of those.
Yeah.
And then we had the 2, the Black Flag and
Yeah, the other
boat
one.
The other boat one.
The other boat one. The
Rogue.
last gen boat
Rogue.
one. Rogue?
Yeah.
Agent?
Yes.
Rogue Assassin. But yeah, I sincerely hope. I think the gaming industry's... Man, what a fucking weird thing to say. 2022 is such a dark time. I think the gaming industry is more diverse with a normal Assassin's Creed game.
Then a shallow ripoff of Witcher 3.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
See,
that is how I feel.
My faith in Ubisoft is so low. Which, oh, by the way, this isn't here or there. Fuck this Ubisoft original shit. What are you doing? That's so embarrassing. Fucking cut it out.
Yeah, Ubisoft original fucking cracks me up.
We need to be more like these streaming services that are all failing.
Like when I read Ubisoft original, I don't think, oh, like a title. I think a Ubisoft original is like, you know, your entire organization being found out to be sex pests and horrible monsters. That's a Ubisoft original.
Do you have those?
Oh, you.
But like the state of Ubisoft, I can't shake this feeling. It's just going to be like, we have the hand blade and it's in, you know, like Persia.
Mm-hmm.
Here's your RPG stats.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Right? Like there are 2 large roadblocks to overcome to this game coming out as their messaging. One is that it turns out they're not lying and it is an actual old school Assassin's Creed game, whether it's good or not. And 2, that Ubisoft is around long enough to launch this game.
We gotta ship it fast.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's like, even if it does look like they're telling the truth, don't buy this at launch.
Oh yeah,
No.
please.
Even 3 days. Let reviews come in. Let streamers get it.
Yeah.
Like,
Look,
they're
guys,
on fire.
even if they offer you 10 whole potions and 3 revives, like Pokemon, do not pre-order. Do not get this day 1.
Yeah, don't.
Get this day 4 even. Day 2 even is infinitely better than day 1. Please let some other canary go in that coal mine.
Yeah, day 1 is to make sure it runs. Day 2 is to make sure it's stable.
And then
day 3 is for when they get to the plot.
Right,
yeah,
right.
it's like
Day-
day 3, can you complete it?
And right, day 5, does the game end? Is there a proper fucking ending there? Because that's the thing. Reviews aren't even going to tell you that.
No.
Not a chance.
Yeah. When's the last time Ubisoft shipped a game that was working? Like at launch? Can anyone say?
I'm
Let
damaged.
me look
I
up
played.
list of Ubisoft games.
I'm damaged. I played Far Cry 6 at launch, and it teleported me to the end of the game.
Yeah.
So,
Clearly that wasn't working right.
or 7, the latest one.
Let me see.
6.
I'm
Okay.
willing.
I don't remember if I
I'm
played 5
willing
at
to.
launch.
I'm willing to give them Assassin's Creed Origins, because I didn't hear anything nightmarish about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure Just Dance 2020 was fine.
Wow.
We've been assuming. We haven't heard from the Just Dance crowd.
The Just Dance crowd seems pretty well fed, so we'll say doing all right. But let's move on to your news, Bob.
Sure. Right after Gamescom stuff like happened last week, we started getting more things coming out that didn't go into the Jeff show.
A bit bigger, longer, and uncut trailers.
Yes. So they showed Wolong Fallen Dynasty. This is next game from the guys who do Neo and Ninja Gaiden and all that. Team Ninja.
Yeah.
We actually got to see gameplay.
Okay.
It looks really cool. There's jumping. Thank God.
Yeah,
Game of the year.
They're being jumping is really a big increase.
Yeah.
Now that Dark Souls has jumped via Elden Ring,
Oh yeah, that's
we
true.
can get it back.
Yes.
Remember 2021 when FromSoft invented jumping in video games?
No, that was this year. That was this year that
Well,
they
no,
invented
they
it.
had to invent it last year for it to have been in the game.
True.
Ah.
People saw the trailer late last year and they're like, what is that character doing? And FromSoft had to have a rep come out to explain their complicated Nemesis-like system that is called jumping.
So that's exciting. It
Cool.
also looks nice, unlike Final Fantasy Origins.
Yeah, it's well, that's a game they made with their money, and
Yes.
Square
Yeah.
Enix didn't give them like a bag full of change.
A big full change and some horrible 3D models.
This fucking Square's like, go have yourself, go see a Star War.
We also got to see a tiny new trailer for Gungrave Gore, and they put out a release date.
Ooh,
Comes out this year, November 22nd.
nice.
Very exciting.
That is very exciting. Gonna have Gungrave Week.
Oh, I wish. That'd be great.
That would be.
It's like Gungrave 10 hours.
Yeah.
We played all 4 games. The VR one was 12 minutes.
God, I forgot that we could play through that.
Yeah, we have the VR headset. We can do
thing?
it. That's a thing.
Yeah, that's how Gungrave came back. They did the VR game, and then they got money to make this.
I'm trying to imagine a Gungrave game that is literally 12 minutes long that wouldn't kill you if you played it. Like the human brain cannot take Gungrave compressed to 12 minutes.
Here's a
you can't push the square button that fast.
Here's a shot literally of a night owl into your veins.
It would be like one of those hyper violent OVAs, but like even more, but in 12 minutes long.
Yes. This fucking night owl by your bed, and you're like, is it too late to say I'm sorry? And he's like, it's never too late, as he gives you the injection and you die.
It's a syringe with like 2 extra needles because it's shaped like a cross.
And you're just like, oh, that's so cool. Oh, God. So anyways, for people who don't know, Gungrave's cool. Please look forward to our streams.
You hit square button a lot, and cool things happen because of it. Next thing, SNK producer Yasuyuki Yoda has said in an interview is, hey, both us and Capcom are interested in a Capcom versus SNK.
Cool.
Both parties are interested. There's
Nice.
absolutely nothing in the works. We're barely even in talking, but it totally is something we want to do. That poster we made for Evo.
It.
Are you ready
it.
for that Rathalos assist?
They're never going to bring, like, frankly, Capcom would be stupid to ever sign on with Marvel again after what Disney did to them with Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Yes.
Yeah, unless they can get some incredibly good deal with them, but I doubt that's happening.
Yeah, but I doubt that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So just make Capcom vs. SNK is now Marvel.
Yeah.
You know, bring in the rival schools characters, you know, bring in the Sam Show characters and the Metal Slug characters on SNK's side.
I mean,
Make
heck,
it
the last
happen.
Capcom versus SNK had rival school characters. And the last play characters.
Oh.
Man. SNK versus Capcom, or Capcom versus SNK 2 is really cool. I want to play it more. Hopefully this happens. We'll see.
Yeah, that would be great. That'd be great.
The final boss can be Shin Ultra God Rugal. Just add more adjectives to Rugal.
His hair's pink now.
Rugal Rose.
This is
Yes.
Rugal Rose.
I want a version of, God, what's the name of that robot from Street Fighter 3?
Oh, Q?
Q.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't call him J.
Okay. Just Q. but he's a different color. And
Yeah.
he's the strongest boss in the game.
Oh yeah, 100%. That makes sense. Q's the coolest.
Red Q, and it starts playing the Char Asimil scene when he shows up.
Ooh,
QR.
that'd be great.
My last piece of news:
Mm-hmm.
Play Asia is making a game publishing department.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they're focusing on localizing games that haven't come over to places yet, and also on apparently rescuing stuff that just is on old hardware.
Wow, that's really cool.
We really need more of these people because NISA is like the only independent one we have right now.
And they suck as we bent over.
Because so many developers opened their own American branches.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like not a whole lot of people doing these small games made by small Japanese devs.
Yeah. I'm really excited to see what this does. They announced it via their 2 VTubers talking about it, which is great.
You know who would have done this first? Lick saying, "Thanks, Sony."
It's true.
You remember Lick saying?
Is that from Gen 4?
Yeah.
I vaguely remember Lick saying
Lick saying was basically the same company as PlayAsia, but they sold PSPs ahead of the European launch to Europeans, and Sony sued them in 7 different countries,
God, yeah.
taking their entire company.
They fucking multi-lawyered them into the earth.
Now, I want to point this out as a turning point for my opinion of Sony as a young gamer.
Mm-hmm.
That thing I never saw Xbox fans do over the Red Ring of Death. We're now going to move on. Or anything to this point ever. It's really good. Linus Tech Tips actually wouldn't offer a written... You'll understand this anecdote by the end of it. Wouldn't offer a written warranty on a product they were selling from their merch shop.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, "Don't worry, we got you, bro." Is literally on the page. And people were like, "Well, we would like to know exactly what your warranty covers." And he's like, "Well, you can't trust us." And it became this whole weird debacle. And then Gamers Nexus starts covering this as this is a company. They sell a product. We're going to treat it not like it's our YouTuber friend, but like a legitimate business endeavor and how much they should do this. And when this blew up, Linus Tech Tips started making a shirt making fun of people asking for the warranty, the written warranty.
That's never a good move.
So then Gamers Nexus has to come out and explain why that's in bad taste. And he's like, yeah, no company should ever make a product that is making fun of the people upset at them over a legitimate business practice or making a good, remember this? What a good thing. And all I could think of was the fucking Red Ring t-shirt they sold around the time that documentary came out last year.
I remember when Battlefield V came out.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't work at launch because of course it didn't.
Right.
And it had like a 72 Metacritic. EA made 72% dark chocolate bars for a party, and by the time the party happened, the Metascore had gone lower than 72.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's all I could think of.
Your L's are free. Stop trying to own them.
Yeah. It never works out. I don't think anyone wrote down the news about the Activision Blizzard Microsoft acquisition stuff.
You mean where the UK competitive oversight committee is just like, we're not sure that the people who took these games and made them exclusive right after buying Bethesda should be trusted with 3 of the largest gaming IPs in the world? And Microsoft, Phil Spencer specifically, directly replied immediately, "Don't worry, bro, we won't this time."
Yep.
Yeah, it's entered the second stage, so now every regulatory board has to look at it, and I hope to God one of them hammers them. No,
this is ridiculous. If several countries all over the world are simultaneously going, "We're starting to get bad vibes about this," then maybe don't let them.
Please, Europe. Please save us with the rule of law. We hear that's a thing you have over there.
Hey. I don't know what they injected Joe Biden with, but he seems to have woken up in the past 6 months.
He's gonna lean over and dark lightning the FCC.
the FTC apparently has been told, no, start hurting Silicon Valley.
Well, here's the thing. Bob and I watched a YouTube video that just showed the GDP market cap, the market cap of the top 10 or 20 companies since the 80s. And I'm like, hey, Bob, remember that tone in RoboCop of the Japanese are going to take over America? 1989 hits. And it's like 8 out of 10 of the top companies are Japanese. And then 1992 hits and it's like, and they all fall back off.
Yup, they had that fun recession.
Except for Toyota. Yeah, the lost generation. That's fucking, I was like, oh, I did not. Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, like Japan. I'm of the opinion that cars that don't come from Asia shouldn't exist.
I mean, that's been my experience owning nothing but cars that don't come from Asia. But yeah, the interesting thing is that anytime you get to like 2012, and it's just these 4 Silicon Valley companies.
It's just those 4, and the numbers go up astronomically.
Yeah,
like
it is
doesn't,
ludicrous.
It doesn't feel like there's any form of regulation or anything. It just goes up.
And it's weird, guys. Once COVID hit, they went really far up.
Wild.
It's crazy.
Where'd all this inflation come from?
It's just fucking radical that these companies that sell computers and online services and stuff got a shitload of money right as people got locked into their homes and needed to buy MacBooks and laptops. Anyway, so yeah, given that Microsoft, Google, and Apple are like 3, and Amazon are the 4 top companies, and they're all Silicon Valley core as hell, it makes sense that at some point you go, oh, we should start hitting kneecaps. Should we?
I saw that in that article about Europe doing that, they're like, also America's in the process of that second phase as well.
Right.
So we are, both countries are just like, no.
Wait a minute.
We should mention, even though it wasn't true, there was that apparently just a sad attempt to boost EA's stock price by saying Amazon's totally about to buy them.
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
Yeah,
they might still get bought by someone else, though. The rumors that came out a few months ago made it sound like Amazon was one of the people bidding, but yeah, who knows?
Also, I assume Ubisoft too. They're also in that same boat, being like, "Someone please buy us."
It was also really weird that the response from Phil Spencer was also, "But we're going to put these games on Game Pass. Everyone, come defend us."
Yeah, that was literally
sick.
A part of it. It's fucking weird. It's like demented.
You'll do this for our free games on our service.
Yeah. Last thing, just because I wanted to get this out there in any capacity. Chris mentioned on Big Think months ago that it's like at a certain point, companies stopped finding a way to add more value to their products, so they were no longer. They just started going insane. But I think it's further an evolution of we've been at the stage for at least 2 years now of like everyone's trying to engineer and deploy a way to charge you rent. They're not even interested in delivering a product anymore. They just want to trick you into charging you rent.
It's literally called diseconomies of scale. Marx wrote all about it, where it's just like we now make all the money. There's no way to make money by giving value.
Right.
We have to charge you a rent to use the seat warmers in the car you bought.
Right. Which is the most insane thing in the world.
Because the number,
which by the way seems to be happening with Sony Vegas.
Oh yeah,
where they're kicking out your licenses. There's like, come get a subscription to the current version. You can't just buy Sony Vegas now, or the newest versions at least.
Okay, so the newest version you can't buy.
That's what I was seeing. Yeah.
It said like if you had bought the latest version, you now didn't.
Huh.
They just took away your license to the thing you bought.
Yeah, a lot of people were like, they revoked my license to Sony Vegas.
See, I saw a bunch of that on Steam, and I wasn't sure if that was a Steam integration or whatever. By the way, for clarification, it's owned by Magix, the worst named company in the world, no longer Sony. But
that's right.
Sorry, Zoomers. We've been using Sony Vegas since 2007 to make YouTube poop. We're just going to say it's Sony Vegas. It's just all one word in our brains. But yeah, anyways, that sucks. That's really unfortunate.
And the new thing, everyone's just being like, time to learn DaVinci Resolve.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. DaVinci Resolve drives me fucking insane I'm a colorist. I've worked on many award-winning
No, it's okay.
short
I
films.
can say that. I'm a colorist.
It's okay. I can say Crush the Blacks. I'm a colorist. It's okay for me to say that. Anyways, we're going to take these colors and desaturate them because colors make me angry. Using it to edit fucking sucks. Like it's just, it does not feel good to edit in. Not like Vegas.
Yeah, it's so weird that Vegas has like one of the best feeling editors around. No
Because
one else has adopted that.
They
feel.
really designed it from the ground up as an approachable UI and like design decisions that make sense around that. Like the problem with Sony Vegas has never been how it's structured. It's always been the instability and the junky piece of shit behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Which I fix half of that with scripts.
Mm-hmm.
And the other half of that I fixed by going, no, we should not do this entire video in 4K. But yeah, that's really fucking unfortunate.
I went to their site and pulled up that yes, I cannot seem to find any way to buy things. They don't seem to understand what buying is anymore because they have $12.99 a month buy now, and I'm like, that's not what buying means.
Oh yeah, I did that rant a bit ago about Adobe because Adobe phrases it the same way.
Mhm.
Of course,
Buy now. No, that's not buying. That's rent. You're trying to charge me rent. Before we get to Agro's news, one late thing coming in. Sakurai made a video for his YouTube channel, just now released, about input lag, which means there's a really high chance he watched our video about the input lag in the Smash franchise. Hell yeah. Also, this video seems to open, I haven't watched it, it seems to open with him being like, I tried to tell them the display lag was really bad at the 2018 Smash tournament, but they wouldn't listen.
Now, I'm worried that, you know, Sakurai, if he highlights lag in games, this will mean the fighting game community can now revert and say lag isn't real because that's just a Smash thing and Smash isn't a fighting game.
Well, a Shoto is a character that exists in a game that doesn't have input lag.
I thought it was really funny that Sakurai in the most recent video was like, 30 frames per second is acceptable to play a game. And then somebody was like, no game Sakurai ever made ran at 30 except for fucking Kid Icarus Uprising on the 3DS.
Because it's a 3DS game and it needs to be 3D, and there's no way you're getting any good graphics looking 60 and being 3D on that bastard.
Yeah. I noticed Nintendo likes to do like calm down about frame rates, and then all their first party games are try to be 60.
That's true. In fact, one of the only notable exemptions from that is Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Because it's a huge scope game. Yeah, it rolls. Dr. Agro, I hear you have news about how good and correct and objectively making the world a better place this podcast network is.
Okay, I'm not here to assign moral blame or any kind of guilt. I'm just going to lay out a timeline.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Right. So Netflix puts out a Resident Evil series of a certain quality.
Okay.
And some brave and handsome podcast network, not going to name names here, maybe spreads an absolute truth about that quality.
Yes.
The second season of that series is immediately shit canned.
Good.
And soon after that, Bloomberg reports that Netflix is going ahead with their ad version for $7 to $9 a month, roughly 4 minutes of ad per hour.
Now, are you trying to say that they looked at a board? They were living the meme. There were two red buttons. One of them said, make Resident Evil Netflix Season 2. And the other one said, make the payers feel. So they needed to kill our wallet.
I just
kill our minds.
I figured they were like, all right, you've got one last chance with this Resident Evil thing. If it doesn't work out, we're gonna turn the ads on.
That feels a little bit like the Fight Club doorway hazing. It's like, I'm gonna go get a broom. You don't make this shit work, I'm just gonna start hitting.
I'm just saying, you know, maybe we're being punished for having told the truth. Speaking truth to Netflix.
God, we're such beautiful martyrs. That's what we are.
I'm so sorry, Lance Reddick.
It's okay. He can go be in other bad series now. He's free.
Go pick up Jeremy Irons and go be in something good.
Maybe they'll both end up in Horizon.
That would rule. I want Jeremy Irons in the Horizon series.
Yeah, that actually would really, that would be a buff. That would be a huge buff.
Oh, yeah.
God, who would he play? You know what? He should be the CEO. What? Yeah, you should.
Don't skip to that one for the show. No.
They got to combine it, just like Welcome to Raccoon City taught me. That's how you tell a video game story. You combine two of them together, and then you just try to make it work, no matter how little sense it makes.
Fucking Uncharted movie.
Did you know the Spencer Mansion's 4 rooms? Anyways.
So a thing happened that I was surprised to learn. It's weird, you know? Like you don't expect anything decent to come out of something horrible.
Yeah.
So when something expected happens, you're like, oh, that's nice. Apparently the Oculus Quest,
Okay.
you can now link a Meta account to your headset instead of your Facebook account. You can log in with that. So if you say something racist on Facebook, you don't lose access to all your Oculus Quest games.
Now, is this something you find it's important to inform our viewers for their own personal use, or is this important to you personally?
You're the one with access to the analytics. I wanted to get the news out there.
Okay, well, the only way I can check on what our chatters are saying is by looking at emotes. So I'll check all of our racist emotes, see how often those are used, because we have so many, obviously.
How long ago did Facebook subsume the Oculus and destroy the future of VR?
I feel like that was at least 5 years ago.
Yeah, that was a while back.
And it was like last week that you can now uncouple your fucking Facebook account.
Oculus was acquired by Facebook in 2014.
Damn it. I was kind of close. I was off by 8 years. Wow. I was off by 3. But yeah, no, it took that long. They desperately wanted to just get more people onto Facebook, no matter how little sense it made, for that long.
Like normally corporations are evil in a very human and predictable way.
We're past that phase.
If Facebook has always been a weird alien entity, just making moves. They don't seem malicious. They just seem beyond the scope of human intelligence.
Right.
Like some straight up cosmic horror shit.
Yeah.
This giant lumbering monolith of money.
Hey, why do you guys allow this? And they're like, I don't understand. It had more engagement. It's like, yeah, but that engagement's human suffering. God, like there's that fucking tweet that was just a joke. Whereas, like, when asked about the things he regrets in his life the most, Mark Zuckerberg said he really wished he got in a fencing club. This man who runs Facebook, which helped weaponize these terrorists or the government against this insurrection. Yeah, like all this stuff and cause murder, blah, 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 blah. People just believed it because he's that out of touch. Fake? Yeah, that was actually fake. You could absolutely believe it, though, because they are that level of just no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
2022's great.
Interesting news for FIFA fans. FIFA 23 accidentally became playable a month early.
I didn't know that's what happened.
It seems to be that if you were in the beta, you could update that version. Like an update went out and it just became the live version.
Like on everything?
It was just the game.
Who does that?
Who the fuck makes FIFA?
Some large labor camp at EA.
Right? So, people, of course, start playing it and streaming it, and bans are getting handed out left and right. I mean, it turns out it's still FIFA. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that's its own thing.
I don't know. Some player has a lower number now than he did in the last one, and some people are mad.
What?
But
it's really
my country's been to the moon, so I don't give a shit about that.
It's really easy, to accidentally make the game playable when it's just the previous game, but with a different title screen.
Fair.
Yeah.
That was definitely a clerical error.
Aggro's about to start calling it dive grass.
Actually, I don't know what this conference is. CDEC? CEDEC?
I've never been clear.
Yeah, it's some online, appears to be mostly Asian computer entertainment I assume that's what a couple of the seasonies are.
I mean, they ought to be, right?
Yeah.
The electronic.
Sony's Kenjo Akiyama, who was listed in the article as head of the Tokyo Global Developer Technology Department, which sounds like a bad machine translation,
Yeah.
gave a short presentation in which he started breaking down some analytics for trophies.
Okay.
And the interesting thing is that apparently Europeans, by and large, get more platinums than anybody else.
Huh.
Yeah. Just on average, Europeans get more platinums. Asian players, specifically Japanese players, he said, get platinums in harder games. Or games that are considered to be more difficult.
Right. Because the rarity, yeah.
Which, I mean, that really sounds like my country didn't come out good in this statistical analysis, so I'm going to make some shit up. And Americans, we know lower than both. We get fewer platinums.
That makes
sense. And I really feel like you, Dan, video games have let us down in that arena. You just don't have the drive to get platinums that you should, and you are bringing down the average.
You're saying that I should go and platinum Sonic Origins PS4 version because I already did PS5.
Yes, the PS4
Aggro,
version.
why
too.
are you
what the
trying
fuck is wrong with you?
Why are you trying to kill Dan?
How many versions of Rock Band have come out that you haven't platinumed?
A lot, actually. I think I've only platinumed Rock Band 2.
Why are you letting the Europeans beat us? People who give a shit about Soccerman's lower number have more platinums than we do.
Look, if a European is more capable of doing the solo in the final countdown than me, that just makes sense. I don't know what to fucking tell you, man.
I'm sitting here with 3 platinums, so
You're right.
Wait, you only have 3 platinums?
yes, I think they are Atelier Ryza, Spider-Man, and Ghost of Tsushima.
Wow, that means all of them are the last, 2 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, there have been some
I've-
easy platinums in the last couple of years.
I've never felt the need to like scrape a game to get a platinum trophy.
A lot of times I find trophy sets for games are really good guidelines to just be like, hey, check this. You can go over this way and engage in the game in a very weird way. Like some games that actually does make me go outside of what I'm directly interested in or aware of to go figure out, oh, that's a thing in this game. Like the Final Fight trophies. It was Final Fight, right? It wasn't Streets of Rage. No, it was Final Fight. The Final Fight trophies back on like the PS3 taught me a move from Mike Hagar I didn't even know existed. I was like, oh, this is fucking weird. Because you loop it infinitely to make your score just keep going up.
Oh.
Some weird grab, jump backwards, and slam into the ground over and over thing.
It's a very well thought out rationale for your brain disease. Would you like to apply that logic to Lego Rock Band?
I like Rock Band. That's it. The defense is done.
Oh yeah, I got my Tekken 7 platinum earlier this week.
Oh, yeah.
It was actually
Oh,
really
really?
easy to finish up. I've only had like 4 trophies left.
Nice.
The funny thing is, like, the only fighting game plats Bob has is Tekken 6 and Tekken 7 because they're baby fucking
Yeah,
platinum.
there's literally just like play the game normally. Don't be a freak.
Play
Yeah.
that stupid story mode
Yes.
for 6.
6 was all
specifically.
story mode trophies, which is very
why,
funny.
Which is why I'm nowhere near it on 6.
Those are the only ones I have. Like I have the Ghost of Tsushima Platinum because it's
Yeah.
just easy, and the
And it's like eat your entire plate. That's all it is for Ghost.
Yes.
the,
It's like, okay, sure.
shit.
Yeah.
The game that came with the PS5,
Astro's Playroom.
Is it called Playroom?
Yeah.
I
Yes.
figured it was like Adventure or something.
No,
Anyway,
that's the VR one, I think.
I thought Playroom was the VR one.
No, Playroom is
just
a
Playroom.
VR game that came with the PS4.
Oh.
Astro's Playroom is the PS5 free
Jesus
non-VR.
Christ.
Yes, I know. Believe me, I know.
Mm-hmm.
They could solve this whole naming problem by just calling it Ape Escape and having it feature monkeys. No one will connect that monkeys are not apes. It won't matter.
For the last 15 years, we've been getting closer and closer to there's going to be a new Ape Escape, you guys. And I feel like we're doing that thing where you get to like 0.9999999999999 and there's never a new Ape Escape game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Asymptote. Right before it hits 1%, like one whole.
We just hit the vanishing point.
Yep, absolutely. And I'm off the chart. I'm just gone. I can't even feel bad for myself because I remember there was a guy who was like, developers have been talking to me. They're making an Ape Escape game. And for years, he just had to keep going. It entered development hell. They haven't talked to me in a bit. It seems like they may have canceled it. And then he just got more and more bitter over time. And I'm like, oh, I feel bad for you. That person still follows me on Twitter. And anytime they like or reply to a thing, I'm like, yep, they know. They know. This sucks. Real. They sucks. They know the pain is real, just like I do. The nicest thing to happen to Ape Escape fans in the last 2 decades, a little less than 15 years, was they put Ape Escape 1 on that PS4, PS5 emulation thing. That's the most we get.
I was like Metal Gear 3.
But we only got 1 Ape Escape on the PS5 technically. Technically, PS4 you get 2. But you know who gets 2 games on both PS4 and PS5, Bob? Do you know, Aggro?
I know.
Siphon Filter. Siphon Filter 2 announced for September's classic re-releases.
Filters will siphon.
Yes. My God. Siphon Filter 2.
I mean, was that having the ability to rewind that makes it the only playable version of a Siphon Filter 2?
That's true. And Siphon Filter 2 seemed a lot more put together and sober than 1, so that's cool.
I'm just imagining rewinding and save scumming an Ape Escape game.
I missed with the game! Go back! I'm going to be honest, when I did that speed run to get the platinum, I did do that near the end where I'm just like, no, he jumped off the ledge! Fuck this!
Didn't they also announce that some game called Kingdom of Paradise?
Yeah, Kingdom of Paradise, the PSP JRPG I know of because it was early enough on the PSP where I paid attention to every game.
That thing that was in Japanese Chino something.
Chino Rondo?
No. You have a guy with a blue tunic.
This looks a lot more high rent than I expected it to look, if we're being honest.
What was the name again?
Kingdom of Paradise. I think it had a different name in the United States between the US and Europe.
Yeah, there's that cover.
Yeah. Yeah. Key of Heaven is the European name. But yeah, Kingdom of Paradise.
God, I forgot that even came over.
I gotta put that image on screen.
Early PSP was a dire time.
Dude, tons of games I just looked at and went, I would play anything on a PSP because it's portable. How amazing is it that this console quality game is portable? Oh, but then I was like poor, so I didn't get any of them. The console.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how could you afford to buy a game after you bought the fucking Pro Duo?
No, right?
There's some real Mark of the Cree energy going on here.
Yeah, you think? I think he's quite cool. Here you go. That's my new.
You're gonna need to check in and see if this is better or worse than Untold Legends.
Sure, you know this being made available on the PlayStation Plus is like the first time I'm gonna be able to give it a chance, really. So I'm looking forward to it.
Can't wait for PSP Pro.
PSP Pro O'Neill. Anyways, I'm hoping before next week I get to try out the Cowabunga collection. The input latency seems like, based on online testing, not great, but I would like to try it firsthand to know. Let's see. Aside from that, it's Armored Core month. Tomorrow is Armored Core. We're going to eat the whole thing. We're going to the Golden Corral, and we're just going to keep eating until they run out. We will not back down.
That's a pretty headstrong stance to take.
Yeah, you can use that stance to take on anyone.
I want to make it clear we aren't going to start streaming Armored Core and not stop streaming until we're done, because we will die.
No, this is it, Bob. It's the day we've talked about since time immemorial. We'll just change our sleep schedules to not overlap perfectly, so that way we can keep handing off.
I keep waiting for it to happen. Like, I have lived in fear of that phone call. Like, I have an idea.
Okay, Aggro, we're going to need you to cover 7 hours here because me and Bob may pass out.
We're going to play Disgaea 1 and we're going to max everything.
People are like, hey, GigaBoots, do you want to do a donation marathon stream? And I'm like, no, I like being able to afford food and rent, actually. But I feel like the day we do a donation stream, it is going to just, because of escalation, we already do 12-hour streams regularly enough that I'm just like, yeah, that'll be the one. That'll be the one we baton pass.
Okay, chat. For every $200, I will beat Mighty Number 9 a single time.
Oh, no! Here we go. Run 13. Give it up for Run 13. Oh, my God.
Just playing every jank, weird-ass JRPG we can find on one screen, but always keeping Desert Bus running on the other.
Bob, what was that insane idea you were talking about? You were like, we boot these 2 games. One of them's on this screen and the other one's on the other.
Oh, it was because that Kickstarter was going. So you're playing through Wild Arms 1 and
yes,
Shadow Hearts.
Yes.
And we're trying to play them both at once.
Yeah, chat gets to hit a button to make a switch.
Yes.
Like 30,000.
Man, it's weird how Wild Arms and Shadow Hearts got this joint Kickstarter, and the second game in each franchise is way better than the first.
But yeah, I'm super excited for Armored Core. For people who don't know, I love Armored Core. I really fell in love with it at the launch of the PS2, and the demo for Armored Core on the PS1's all I've played of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super excited to get to play that tomorrow.
I'm scared for these PS1 Armored Cores.
It's a FromSoft game. They're virtually going to be the same.
That's true.
Wait a second. It was PS1 games? Always was. Looking at their catalog, it's just Elden Ring, Evergrace. Anyways, I'm very excited for that. Chris, what do you have coming up?
I'm gonna stream Life is Strange.
We get to the end of Big Thing. Chris just has a box of roses, opens it up, shotgun.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So we're gonna start that at some point in the next week. I also have a stream goal where if you hit it, I have to play Banjo-Kazooie because I have not confronted that game, not in its entirety.
Cool. Awesome.
But I need to know what's in Life is Strange, because the furthest thing I know about is watching Spirits Within on the Tasty Plasma.
Right.
I don't know anything beyond that.
That's
and
what
I've owned
everyone
it on
knows.
PC for 7 years.
Damn. Wow. We forgot to mention it in any big thing.
Yeah.
Square Enix did that hilarious digital code fire sale
Oh, God.
where they were like, we're about to lose all our Eidos properties. How would you like to own all of Tomb Raider for $4? And I'm just like, this is kind of fucked up to do to the next guys, but yes.
I will absolutely buy every one of these games for $20 total.
I spent $30 and I own like every fucking Eidos game ever, except
you're
for
gonna
one.
need it for when you do which is better, the first Tomb Raider reboot trilogy or the second Tomb Raider reboot trilogy.
That first reboot trilogy is just depressing. And again,
I heard some good things about Legends. Thought that was where they rebooted it
I
once.
thought
but I don't
Legends
know.
was just a best of sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's
The
super
subtitles
confusing.
get confusing. Anyways, that's gonna do it for Big Think Dimension. I think. Here's the fun part. People don't. I'm not sure if anyone's ever noticed this. The audio version of this podcast is a different length from the YouTube version of this podcast because I could delete out a little bit of bullshit that happens as I prep different things a lot more easily. That's going to do it for this episode of Big Think Dimension. Thank you, everybody, for watching. See you next time. Hey, Aggro, you try the outro.
Like, try doing the outro?
Yeah, you gotta get them over to that Patreon and explain to them how much
tell
you...
them if they want to help us get more platinums, that they can go to patreon.com/GB podcast, where they get access to a whole bunch of shit that Chris talks about. Something about Bounce laundry detergent. I don't know. I kind of zone out.
And I hear he won't do that voice
it's
again.
a great place to have Chris not do the Justin Roiland voice anymore.
Yeah,
if you
I
just
won't do
throw
this
money
voice
at the
anymore.
screen.
If you
God
just throw
damn
some
it.
money in the screen. Oh, gee, Rick, there's no
Please
money.
help
I'll
us.
be able
He's
to
so
get my
crazy.
insulin.